live. So this is the Leadership Blend. I'm Kyle Andrew. This is an unfamiliar voice again. Ricardo is sitting across from me.
Woohoo!
We have a
that.
full house again, so I'm gonna let everybody, starting from Ricardo to the left, to my left, introduce themselves.
All right, it's Ricardo D. Rice, the typical host of the Leadership Blend. I'm switching out today because, why do I have to do it every day now? Because I have people that can actually do it. So, yeah, I'm good.
All right.
This is double R.
Simone Cherie.
Jazz.
And Shahid.
All right. So Simone is here, and I'm up here again because Simone wasn't here the last time that I hosted. So
It's Intern Friday.
yeah.
Good
So-
old Intern Fridays. Okay, so the objective of Intern Fridays, so that everybody knows, is to get the interns, which is, there's pretty much 3 of them in here, to be full on-air correspondents, to be able to introduce a story, to be able to unfold a story, to be able to tell a story as a journalist, presenting both sides. So that's the goal of Intern Friday. So feel free to write little comments, talk trash, make suggestions on live, which, yeah, that's the goal. So
I love it. I love it.
that's the point.
constructive
Kyle
criticism.
Yeah, do what me and
is
Simone
being
do on air.
tested. Yeah. Kyle is being tested because, everybody needs to sit in the main chair at one point, and Kyle's been here the longest.
Mhm.
So it was time to take him to the next level. And the next level was to sit in the big chair. So he's sitting in the big chair again. Yes, he did not know he was sitting in the big chair today. I didn't know, so I got to the studio and decided,
That's
know what?
Nope,
Crazy.
he did not know he just dresses like that all the time.
I'm dressed down today. What you mean?
Oh, this hoe he
Yeah, I know.
just ended.
Yeah, he definitely don't got on dress pants.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
he
all right,
kinda-
so Simone, give us the rundown
real, huh?
for what you have today. It's
Facts.
very real. Yes.
See, yeah, he just dresses down.
Yeah.
He dresses down in gold. I love knowing wealthy people.
Oh my God.
So we're gonna talk about what's been going on breaking in the Jussie Smollett case. If you know anything about the news this week, you know that it's a continuously developing nightmare. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. We're going to talk about 2020 because we've been following that really closely and now know that we've got an old, new candidate in the race, one of whom Ricardo is particularly fond of. And we're going to talk about Joe Biden in that race as well. Some of the comments that have come out from the White House. Also, Trump's progress on getting his wall, we can touch on a little bit. And then we'll get back to a couple more issues, especially today. I kind of want us to talk a little bit about the law and about legislation. If you know anything about state politics, which you should, I really want people to know a lot more about local politics, not just national politics. The Georgia legislature is in session right now, and there's lobby days pretty much every single day. I've been to about 2 this week, and there's a couple issues around justice reform and technology and privacy and gun control that I also like to share with everybody. So in addition to hearing all the intern stories and seeing what's going on. So we might as well start with Jussie Smollett.
Oh,
Let's do it.
good
Yeah,
Lord.
get that boy out of
Really,
here.
really, we have to- and that's why you looked at me, because you knew I was not.
Yes, because it's a
I
breaking
mean, this is
story.
a federal case.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. It's past entertainment. I
yes,
believe.
it's a federal
Yeah.
case. When you send a threatening letter through the mail, it becomes a federal case.
So on Monday, at the time that we all kind of talked a little bit about what was going on, there was a lot of speculation and accusations that
Nope, I was
Jussie
right.
Smollett's original complaint that he was assaulted and what's essentially a hate crime were false, that there was coordination between him and the 2 gentlemen who were the alleged attackers, and that they were really looking into it and they were calling for him to come back. So since then, it's been 4 days since then, Jussie has been charged, an indictment was served, he was arrested on a $100 bond, and he paid that and was released. He is due in court now, and essentially he's being accused of what's called like a class 4 felony. It's a class 4 felony to, the Chicago
Disorderly
PD.
conduct.
Just right. Well, the Chicago PD made a statement as well that they are very frustrated that this was an ugly mark upon Chicago. So if it's not real, kind of like how dare you, resources, et cetera, that police put into responding to things like this are a big deal. And so, I mean, they're pissed. They're very, very pissed. They claim that the 2 men were paid $3,500 essentially to carry out this attack, which is what they're kind of, I guess, going through the process right now of is investigating and grabbing all necessary receipts. The gentleman claimed that Jussie told them exactly where to go, that he was aware of the cameras, that he told them to wear red hats that they ultimately didn't wear, that he told them when it was going to happen and all of that. So that it was a very premeditated, although poorly executed plot. So that's the status right now.
Yeah, throw that boy away.
No,
Straight up.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at him.
Wait, what?
We
wait.
heard because you
I'm
got to
not mad.
explain that.
Go ahead.
And
Yeah,
we
I
about
mean,
to
it's-
battle.
all right, so-
Please, Rich Kyle.
Please.
So I admit he lied to the feds. That's not cool. However, like I told you over the when we were off air, he did what all celebrities do. He pulled a stunt to get more attention or to get more money. He's got an album. He's got an album coming out in March. He wants higher pay on Empire.
He wasn't gonna get that.
He wasn't gonna get that. And I started watching the show, like you said, after like the third season. So I don't know whether the show can go on without his character.
It can. I got back into it. I stopped and then I got back into it. It's actually pretty good. But his character is not.
But
a
I
He's
main
not a
character like it
formidable.
was.
He's not a formidable character on the show.
But isn't the show
Since
about
the
like,
first season.
Isn't the show about like three brothers? So like somebody told me that
No,
the
it's
oldest brother
about
is
their.
dead.
It's about their new brother now because they have
new
a
brother.
new
Yeah,
brother.
they shifted. They have a new brother. Yeah. So technically,
That's what I'm saying.
Technically,
He was
you
going.
could
He
live
was
without
not
him at
going to
this
be
point.
popping anyway. But see, I gotta combat you.
Mhm.
I understand what you're saying, but what was very telling about this whole case is the article that Chicago PD put out the day after they arrested him. They said we spent $100,000 worth of resources to actually build a case to file an arrest warrant to arrest this guy. Just literally a year ago, what's the boy name? Laquan McDonald was killed in this city. They spent what resources did you spend then? And everything was caught on camera. And we saw the crime happen. And then everybody got off. This man had $100 bond. And I thought I was tripping when I read. I thought it was like $100,000, like $1 million bond. He had $100 bond.
Who?
Jussie.
He had
$100,000.
That's why I thought I
$100,000.
was tripping.
Yeah, $100,000.
Because somebody posted it.
But he
on-
paid. I mean, you paid 10%.
You only pay 10%, so he only paid 10.
Oh,
Unless
he
you're
didn't.
like
Oh,
a
you don't pay the
boss.
whole $100,000.
No,
No.
you pay 10,000.
Unless you're like a boss.
So he paid 10,000.
You
So
paid 10%.
so really, he had $10,000 bond to get out of jail. For what though? Like, why would you let him out?
I mean,
You-
you can't really
you-
hold him.
No, that's
What
what the
you
bond
mean?
is for. That's what the bond
It's
is
the
for.
feds.
The thing is,
You can't make a case federal and then say, hey, we're gonna give you a $10,000 bond until, like, granted, it's a disorderly conduct charge,
Right.
but that's from the city of Chicago. But when you send threatening letters to Fox News through the mail, like,
he was accused of sending threatening letters to himself.
Yeah.
and that's
like-
what I'm saying. Like,
He wrote
you
the letter.
whack. You need to go because you incited the country. I wasn't mad because it sounded crazy from the sandwich,
I said that.
like from the sandwich.
I mean, just in general, it didn't.
But
Yeah.
it didn't sound right.
Didn't
But you
sound-
incited the whole country. You had like black people ready to ride for you. Like, what if somebody would have been running the streets? What if Liam Neeson would have came through there with that crowbar, looking for them boys?
Okay, well,
I would just like to see the records. That's all I'm going to say because
records?
I want to see the records.
No, he didn't.
He could have checked technically
they
if he
said-
did it at all, allegedly.
They said he wrote them a check,
And that could have been for anything.
but they also
Yeah, that's true,
said
too.
that he gave them the money to go buy the supplies.
The thing
Yeah.
is, there was communication before and after the attack. So there's communication after the attack. That's kind of crazy because how would there be
Oh, these my
texting
phone
after
records.
the attack? Yeah, but we don't know what the records say. We just know that there was texting after. So that that looks kind of crazy.
Here's the problem I
How
have.
did you-
This is the problem I have with this. I see what you're saying. The issue with this is Jussie.
Jussie.
Nah,
Represent-
Smollett.
Jesse now.
He's no.
Just- name is
Jussie
Jussie
represents two distinctive classes of people
Yeah.
who are, in essence, minorities in essence. The gay community or the LGBTQ community and African American male community. So for you to pull a stunt of this magnitude and in essence cry wolf with the state, especially the state of African American males at this time, what were you thinking? Like, what were you thinking? My thing is this, and I said this when the story broke, it makes no sense to me. I knew from jump, it sounded crazy.
Yeah.
It didn't make any sense to me. You're a megastar. I don't get it. My question now is, why? Because he maintains his innocence even on the Empire, which he's been suspended from, and they're pulling him from episodes. But he called a meeting on the set and maintains his innocence. I want to know why at this point, because now they're saying, well, salary negotiations. What was it supposed to do with that? I don't understand. He does not strike me
I
as
think
an
it's
idiot.
no, but it's your price value going up. Like it's your stock going up as you become more relevant. So I think the idea was, had this become huge, had he become this social justice warrior, victim turn warrior, he may became more popular. That would have commanded a higher salary just because he became more of a somebody.
Are
Yo,
we?
where Me
what?
Too at? Where they at? No, where Me Too at?
That's for
Me
females.
Too.
That's not for
Me
males.
Too was the first group to come out and to kind of step behind them. You had the Me Too movement and the black community and the gay community. Like, hold on, this is wrong. Why everybody silent now? Now the black community just laughing at them, but nobody else has anything to say. Me Too don't have nothing to say, cause that's what this kind of goes back to. Things like this happens all the time. People get assaulted all the time. What if
That's
it was
a shame.
a woman that did? And that's the question that you don't hear in the media, but I seen it on Twitter. Joe Budden asked the question. Ebro in the Morning asked that question.
What?
If this was a woman that did this,
What, the stunt or?
the whole thing, if a woman, white or black, come out and say, I got jumped by 2 dudes, but she paid them to do it, and she knew the dudes that did it, and they put a noose around her neck, but she tied the noose. If this would have happened to a woman, how would we look at this? Because we just laughing at bruh. Because it's really funny.
people are mad. People are very mad.
People are outraged, don't?
But what would it look like if this would have happened to a woman? I don't think that we would be. This would have went like this if
Well,
it was
of
a
course
woman.
not. Because
How do you
it's
think
a
it
more
would've gone?
sensitive
It happened.
And you
If
just
a
think
woman
everybody
would
believe
have
it.
said this, I think that everybody would be like, nah, that happened.
No.
You're saying-
No.
Wait.
then
So
we
you're
have
saying
to
people
go-
would have believed her more?
Yeah. Yes.
I don't know. I think
His
it's still
his story didn't even look believable. If you look at him when he went on the morning show, come on, bro.
No, that was very, very believable.
I believed
that
it.
was very
I didn't
believable.
see that.
Everything he
I ain't believe
said
that,
was
man.
believable.
I
to
seen
me.
that.
But
The entire thing.
But here's the problem, though, because you actually have an up-to-date example of that. When we were talking about Kavanaugh and his accuser, and the details were so hazy, she got the same kind of roast. Everybody was just kind of like, that don't even, you said on this same panel said that don't even sound
But
right. That
it
was too
wasn't no
long ago.
tape.
There
was a tape.
The difference is that she was not saying this. Like, she was like, I was very reluctant.
And she
I
wasn't
don't really want to be
definitive.
here.
She said,
Yeah, she admitted, I don't know. I don't know.
I believe it was him, but I don't know. I
She-
just know
she
he
said
was
she
there and he
knew.
was really drunk. But I know he touched me. Come on, bro.
I feel like the response to it was pretty much the same. At first, everybody was like rah 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 rah, and then as the details became more and more hazy,
But it
people
faded away.
started getting silent. It's the same thing we're looking at now. When it first came out, everybody was like rah rah rah, and as it started unraveling, everybody gets quiet because it's like, okay, now we got to put it on pause.
I think it
because
may be
we
getting
don't
more
know
attention now.
But
Yeah.
I
where to
think
sit.
this is the copycat era.
Mhm.
If this actually happens to somebody, they not gonna blame Jussie. They not gonna point to Chicago. They not gonna point to the news. This might actually happen to somebody.
Yeah, because
Like that's
yeah.
what's so disturbing about it. Somebody might actually get beat up in the street,
And that's what people have
and
said.
get the bleach on them, and get the noose on them, and they might take your sandwich.
So the Southern
You ate the
Poverty
sandwich.
Come on, bro. He took the sandwich.
The Southern
home, bro.
Poverty Law Center released their report, and they did this, like, I think around the same time, that hate crimes have gone up 40% in the last several years. Like, hate crimes are on the rise. They're trying to make that very clear because that's the quickest thing for people to do who don't believe that America has any sort of racial problems or problems with sexual orientation, is they try to say, well, look at this fake thing. So there are people who are trying very, very hard to say, like, no, this is an actual thing.
And those
But that
numbers
is
are
that becomes
staggering.
frustrating when people are like, okay, well, so that's why these lies can be so ugly.
So-
because there is a case we're trying to prove, and you
Well,
know.
it's the ripple effect. Like, it's the boy who cries wolf. What happens when somebody really cries and there is an actual wolf? What are we gonna do? Like,
I think people have actually been crying the whole time. Like when because somebody posted it on Facebook saying, like, here in Georgia, like when you look at the numbers of hate crimes, especially black men, and then you realize, like, it's not like regular dudes beating these dudes up. It be dudes in the community that just don't look like them. Like I work at Nancy's Pizza as a delivery guy.
when you get that job?
I got
He
mad
works
jobs.
everywhere.
job?
Look, I'm Haitian. But what I'm saying,
Really?
what I'm saying, I work across the street from the Eagle,
I would have never thought.
right there on Ponce. I just seen a dude get beat up by 4 gay white dudes outside the Eagle on Saturday.
Did you call the police?
Did you do anything?
No,
Wait.
no.
So, wait, was the
actions
was
of
the
some
black
members of this
guy
panel are
straight
not
and he
reflective.
been picking at them, or
no,
was he
ain't-
gay too?
No, look.
Is that a crime?
I seen them. They came in Nancy's, and then they left. And Nancy's is right next to Krispy Kreme. So they went to Krispy Kreme, and then they walked across the street. And then I left. I did delivery. I came back. I was on the phone, and I seen them stand outside. And then, like, Like, it just went down real fast.
Can you describe what they looked like?
So, like, one dude, he had on, like, a MAGA hat. You know what I mean?
Really?
But what I'm saying, like, and I can say from experience, like, I've seen gay girls, like, girls that I know. Like, I knew 2 girls in high school. Both of them was named Ashley, and they were dating. And I seen them get to fighting at the train station, and the police just watched. Because it was... when you start realizing, and I know, like, certain gay dudes that get to fighting with other gay dudes, I don't usually hear them be like, nah, that dude over there, the straight dude right there, it be like dudes that be cool already. This is going to look very bad if something actually happens to somebody.
That's what I was going to ask you. So I was going to say, do you think that the stunt that Jussie pulled will affect the
How
next
we
case that
react
comes
to
up?
it?
No, I'm just saying when
Culturally.
somebody else gets jumped, or there's another hate or an actual hate crime, or a crime against somebody who's in the LGBTQ community.
I think it's going to make it
believe?
very difficult, because the first question that people asked when they heard about this is, was this a crime of passion? Was he dating somebody's guy? Is one of the Nigerian dudes his dude?
Well, that actually is a question that is going to come up, because it is a question. Like,
And now
or are
it's,
they at some point involved?
They still say that between 2 and 5% of all accusations are false. It's a very small percentage of people who think this kind of thing is entertaining. And one thing I will say that you mentioned earlier about as far as how other people feel is I would never apologize for this. I don't know why, like, Kamala Harris and Cory Booker are being taken to task about having justice for Jussie tweets and stuff like that. Like, I don't think if you're acting on the information you have at the time and you feel sympathy for somebody, there's nothing to apologize for.
Yeah,
like you're supposed to feel bad if bad things happen. You know what I mean? Like, it's very different than, that's why we have a legal system and a court process and all of that. It's like, hopefully it's not true.
They doing the Trump. You know how
And
say
Trump,
something stupid.
President Trump,
He having a good
surprisingly
time.
was he was very
he made a tweet.
presidential about
He is
this
very
initially. He said that is horrible. He said this is the worst thing that could have ever happened, or
But
something
I
like
would
that.
expect that from
Well,
him,
he
though,
said
because
in essence, how does your actions were deplorable, and how do you think the millions of MAGA people and some other people, I think he said LGBT,
Yeah.
people felt
Yeah.
about this.
Yeah.
Like,
But when it first happened, like before all this, like
See
when
what
it
I'm
first
saying? Like, it
happened,
was
he said he
bad
felt
and
bad.
he
He was
felt
like, "This is
bad for
terrible.
him."
I can't believe this." And I was just like, "Wow, that's all he had to say." Like,
before
wow.
it came out that Jussie.
Yeah,
did
before
Yeah,
it came
was
out,
flexing.
yeah.
Oh, I think we're going to definitely
He
hear
gave a
about
press
it on Monday.
conference. Yeah.
We're going to hear about it on Monday. Like, when Trump done trying to get this wall, when they finally get these proceedings finished, we're going to hear about it. So you guys remember Jesse, like, but I just think it's going to be bad. Like,
Yeah.
it's going to make it very hard in the coming years for people to be believable now. Because now we not only have to question that, we already had the question, did it happen or not? Now we have to question the intent of you, like, for it, especially for black gay men, because everybody else is cool, but like, you a black gay dude, and you already like popping already. There literally was no reason for you to do this. So now look at the dudes that want to be you. If something happens to them, it's mad dudes like that want to be actors or want to be singers or want to be in the industry. What if something happened to them? Now we out here like, oh, he had a sandwich too? It ain't happened.
what is it with you and this sandwich?
I'm just saying.
The sandwich is a staple.
That's
in
the
story.
it is a staple because it just sounded
People
crazy.
just would not get off it. That really that upset me too.
Like, you got
What?
beat
The
up and then
sandwich?
pick your
Yes.
sandwich up.
Which is what Ricardo was saying, because he was just like, "Who goes at 2 a.m. to get?" People are up. Like, people get hungry.
No,
That pisses
you
me
are a
off.
mega star. You should not.
You should not be
going
getting
to
hungry?
Subway. First of all,
But
I'm not even a star. I'm sending Uber Eats to get my food at 2:00 in the morning. That's
First of all,
first and
I don't
foremost.
waste my
not
money
sorry,
like
no.
that.
Secondly-
I don't waste my money like
Well,
I
that.
eat
love
Subway.
Subway,
I don't eat
but
Subway.
he's not that big of a star. He can go somewhere by himself.
No, he is that
At
big.
2:00 in the morning?
I don't think
Empire
he's
in
that
his
big of a
heyday.
star.
He's that big of a star.
Empire in his heyday was
He's
breaking
not.
records. You don't just wipe that away. Like,
In
it
the
was
first
making
season,
records.
not now.
It doesn't matter. It goes down in the history books for being the first African American show in that climate that was bringing in numbers like Friends and stuff.
So
He
that
could have
come-
made that
So
walk.
Now that combats what y'all saying with his argument trying to get paper like that. You not even that big of a star. How you finna think you finna get more money?
Well,
Well,
I don't
I'm not
think-
saying he deserves more. He makes
Yeah.
100,000 an episode. I'm
65.
saying
I think it was 65,000.
I thought it was 100. Them claiming that he was trying to get more money is what the two gentlemen are saying, that this is why he told us he wanted to do it. I'm not saying he needs more money, or or that this is how you should
but
go
then
about
we
it.
also have to look at the ramifications for his circle. So we can't count out. Oh God, what is his name? Lee Daniels, because Lee Daniels is in the LGBT community as well. So now you have this issue.
But he's so clean in this. Like, that's what made me mad. It's so many people that get to be clean in this. Lee Daniels get to be clean.
Let me get to be clean. He didn't have a hand in it.
I think he might have.
I think
I hear people
It's
say
his
He's
show.
he's the first one that posted a picture of Jussie though on FaceTime.
Because they're that. He's on his show.
That
that's
might
your
be-
man's.
I don't know if I
though.
want to believe anything at this
It's-
point.
he's
though.
on
But what
this
I'm
show.
saying, if that's your man's, you my partner. You my partner. How many times I didn't call you before I did something stupid like, hey bro, I'm finna get ready to do something
How many
stupid.
times I talked you out of it?
And my point exactly, if I call you first, you don't think that Lee got that call first?
And don't you think that he responded like I do when you call me?
It's
don't
Lee.
do it.
It's Lee. Lee.
Don't do it.
That will be his
Monique
defense,
already
I'm
told
sure.
us that Lee ain't
I'm
listening
sure.
like that. Dame Dash already told us that Lee
You're not
ain't
even making
listening
your own
like
case.
that.
The point is,
I believe Dame Dash for
if he
sure.
I believe
called
Dame.
and said
It's Lee.
that don't you just like you use the example of calling me, and I always tell you to don't do it because it's a reflection. You're affiliated with this and me. It's a bad reflection on me. I am sure that Lee Daniels said the same thing, bruh. We done broke records. I know the numbers may not look like they used to, but we still empire. Don't do it. You will have nothing to gain.
He just
and here we
introduced-
are.
They just introduced
I'm
the
just
new
praying. I'm just
You-
praying.
son. They just introduced
That
the
this is
new
not
son.
fake.
You don't think that Lee was already prepared to write this man out the show?
Can we get to the point that if you're gonna do this, how poorly executed was this
That's what
plan?
I'm saying.
I'm gonna get two people like that you claim are Nigerian.
You
and
make
they don't do whatever.
$100,000 an
That's
episode.
the problem. So you pick their
and you gave them
ethnicity.
$3,500.
That too.
They snitching.
And they're people that you know, and that it can be proven that you know.
But if,
And you write a check instead of using cash. And just not the things that you do if you're going to engage in criminal behavior.
there
Who
lies
got
my
a
point.
checkbook?
So
I have a checkbook.
Going to,
when was the last time you wrote a check?
I mean, when you got a lot of
2016.
money, you write checks.
When was the
When
last
you have a
time
lot
you
of
wrote
money,
a
you write
check?
checks.
I don't even
Wrote
have a checkbook.
check.
So you got me. I don't even have a checkbook.
Right, I don't have a checkbook.
Well,
Yeah, but
you don't need a checkbook, Kyle.
We also don't have millions in the bank, so I don't want a checkbook to remind me how much money I don't have. When I can write a check for $50,000 and can walk away and don't think about it, whole different ballgame.
And I would need
But,
more than that to engage
they
in a
about to-
felony. I would need more than that.
I mean, that's probably
He
true.
That's
has
crazy.
to
And I'm
go
splitting
to
it with my
real
brother, so
jail.
$17.50 a pop.
But if I'm trying to be an IG superstar and you write me a $3,500 check, that can make the difference between me getting a couple more photo shoots.
They
and
were
a
gonna be
couple more
superstars?
a couple more bottles of baby oil to slather it on up on IG. I'm just saying they're not that grand. You'd be amazed
You
what
lost
people
me.
do. Or you don't know what else he could have promised him. It could have been $3,500, and I'll make sure that you guys are
Before
more
and
than
after.
extras on Empire. You don't
Yeah,
know what else went
I
along
bet
with
he
that
did
deal.
Yeah,
want
I
somebody
don't-
to be
I
more
don't.
than extra.
But my point to go before we went on, before
And they
we
sure
came on
snitched.
air,
They sure sung like the Harlem
well, I mean,
Boys Choir.
when it comes down, I'm gonna say like Canary too. If it comes down to me going to jail with you, I'm gonna say like Canary too. I
You
don't
know
care if
what's
you
gonna
pay
make me
$2.
mad? What if one of them dudes put out a single? This is oh my god! Like
That's a good time.
they gotta throw this
Or
whole thing. He
they'll write
gotta
a
go
book.
to jail.
They'll write a book or something like that.
He gotta go to real jail.
But
Like, he gotta
here,
go to
no.
real
But
jail.
here's the question, like Simone just said,
He
and
ain't
like
gonna
I've
like that.
said, this was so poorly executed. One does have to wonder. And I know you hate this, but one does have to wonder: is mental health an issue in
No.
this?
Nah.
No.
It was so poorly executed. He can't be. Y'all saying he's really this stupid?
Did
Yeah.
you see his interview? No, that's not.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying he's stupid.
Hold on.
Oh,
Look,
what
look,
else can
look,
you say
look,
if somebody poorly
look,
executes
look,
something like that?
look.
Or okay, do you feel like he's that desperate?
I just continue.
Yes.
I still believe Jussie at this moment until I have proof that until I see
Look,
those text messages.
I got this is an example. Dude go out in the street, kill somebody, go to his mama house. We knew you were going there. That where you live at.
yeah.
That the address on your license. We knew where you was going.
Mm-hmm.
It was predictable what you was going to do. You
This
look
ain't
at your
No
man.
mental health. No.
Look
I'm
at
just
your
saying.
man's.
I'm just saying.
So they mentally health. They got mental health issues too
Does
because they
his
killed
character-
somebody and they went to their mama house.
We talked about this before in the past. The cries that people put out for help looks different. I'm just playing devil's
But
advocate.
that's
Okay,
why I told
okay,
you.
I'm
play-
just playing
play
devil's
on.
advocate.
But I remember we had this
everybody's
conversation, and
everybody's
I told
cry
you.
for help is different.
Everybody can't use mental health as
But
an
can I ask?
excuse,
Does his character
'cause
have
this-
mental health issues? Doesn't his character? Didn't he go through something traumatic?
Post-traumatic. He got shot. He
Okay,
has post-traumatic
and then they had
stress.
drug problems.
Yes, and he had drug problems.
Isn't this fascinating if this is a lie? Because like think about like Kevin
That's what I'm
think about Kevin
saying.
Spacey and like how Kevin Spacey always plays like a pedophile or a pervert
And then
or
you
a
find out that he
master
got raped
manipulator
in
and then he
So
gets
there
like
lies
20
in my
charges.
point. So
Isn't that something?
if art imitates life, which is what we're saying, is it really that far-fetched? That's what you're saying, art imitating life. That what I do on the big screen is actually my actual reality.
I'm saying it's a
So
huge
if art
coincidence, that's
imitates
all.
life,
Just a
is
coincidence.
it that far-fetched that Jussie Smollett is dealing with actual mental health issues? That's all I'm saying.
No, he is not mentally
We
ill.
talked about it before,
He
though.
is just stupid.
But Jussie, if you are bad at this, I highly recommend you start taking some drugs immediately because you may need this defense. I suggest you
all
find
right,
some
all right.
opioids
I promise
immediately.
You on Monday, he's gonna be like he has anxiety.
Have
and
some
he
type of
can't
toxicology,
sleep,
something.
and he not gonna do no time, and
All
he's
right.
just gonna get away with being
So,
a liar.
but before we go to break, does anybody have any advice for Jussie?
Take
What
some
would you
drugs.
say to Jussie right now?
Come on, tell the truth.
Find a psychiatrist to claim that they talked to you about something.
Come on, tell the truth.
I
Kavanaugh
just-
on the stand said,
And
I
don't
used
text.
to drink all the time,
And don't
but
leave
I
evidence.
Never raped a woman.
Don't leave evidence.
Just,
All right.
Just tell why. I think
Yeah.
that why may make a difference. Tell why. It may actually make a difference.
Just be honest. That was good.
Well, you ain't gotta be honest, but just say why.
Yeah, that's some good advice.
You ain't gotta be honest, but
you
right.
gotta be honest.
You ain't gotta be honest. Just give us a why, because that why may cover
So
the
he
fact.
just gotta
that it's
come up
honest
with a
enough.
why.
At this
The
point,
same way he came
it
up with the
can't be
story.
any worse than where you're sitting at now. Just give us a why.
I think it can be. He came up with a lie.
Bath
and now you want him
salts.
to come up with a
Bath
why.
salts.
I'm just saying he needs a why.
All right, so we're going to take a quick break. This is a Leadership Blend. I'm Kyle Andrew. We'll be right back.
Bath salts aren't very good.
When I was younger and I didn't know better, living with these wolves, searching for pleasure. Some kind of angel took me out of the jungle, from your blue lights into sunlight. I sleep better at night without you around. Sometimes I still awake for you coming out. It's too late to hold me, too late to call me to. You're saying if only I could get over you. It's too late to know me. I'm going without you. You're saying if only. I said I'd meet you off the freeway alone. You still don't understand a woman is holy. Your fake apologies would work on the old man. I get into my car, leave you where you are. I sleep better at night without you around. Sometimes I still awake for you coming out. It's too late to hold me, too late to call me to. You're saying if only I could get over you. It's too late to know me. I'm going without you. You're saying if only. It's too late to hold me, too late to call me to. You're saying if only I could get over
This ain't sitting real good in my soul. Everywhere this little girl goes, she pick up another obstacle. She was my heart. I don't know the tribe or the fall, but by default, she don't think of me. I thought she was an Indian. She be slanging things like a simian. All my life I wanted me an Indian. Now she's far away, but I had to know. Listen, I know you see it, girl. This ain't sitting real good in my soul.
All right. We are back. You're listening to the Leadership Blend on IBNX Radio. I'm Kyle Andrew with the full house, starting with.
Why we keep starting with me? I'm the boss.
This
Let's
goes
right.
this
Yo.
way.
start with Shahid.
Don't
Go
be
run this
special.
way.
That's
All right.
Ricardo.
Let's give him what he wants. Go ahead, Shahid.
Shahid.
Jazz.
Simone Cherie.
Double R.
And
Boss man.
Ricardo D. Rice.
All right. So, what's up with the wall? We got a wall update.
Oh God.
We have a quick wall update. Yes, we sure do. President Trump, again, he announced a national emergency last year. He tweeted over the weekend that the wall was well underway and under construction. Actually, there's an article that came out just today because people have been very skeptical about what's being built right now and trying to, I think, make people feel better and say that there's not a wall being built right now. There's a woman named Nadia Alvarez who's in USA Today this morning because her family has owned land on the Mexico-Texas border for about 40 years, and she received an official letter from the government stating, listen, we need your land. Eminent domain, we need to use part of this. We're building the wall, FYI. We'll compensate you for it in whatever denominations you can be compensated for, basically, when the government decides that they need your area, your home, or your property, whether it's to build a sidewalk.
Estoppel. It's
Eminent
it's
domain.
illegal. That's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, because they compensate you for it. Now, they're not compensating you what you would like to be compensated for it. And in this case, this woman's been there, and her family have been there. She said her great-great-grandfather built the land, or owned the land. So it's been their family for a long time. But she is on wall territory. So if people are receiving letters like this, I believe it's more than underway.
Is this the same woman who wrote "No Border Wall" on her roof? Is that what the lady you're talking about?
Maybe. This
'Cause
woman's
there's
a
a lady-
teacher.
Yeah, there's a lady. She's like in the way, like in the where they want to build
Like
a
in the
wall.
immediate
Her house
space?
is right there, and she wrote, because when he went to go visit, she was
Oh.
hoping that he would see the message on her roof, so she wrote "No Border Wall." on her
Oh,
roof.
I'm not sure if it's her, but I know that there are people in Arizona and in Texas who have been either profiled by one of the major news publications or that have been kind of petitioning to stop the wall from being built because it's literally on their land. I don't know what you can do about that at this point. I think
I mean, they could literally just like move her, like from one part, because the place in Texas where she is, it's not like
it's just
mad
land.
stuff out there.
No, it's just land, but it's her land, but it's just land.
Yeah, but like what they would do is the same thing that they do like when they build in downtown. The only difference is that downtown they build in between something. When it's that much land, they would just move you maybe like 1,000 yards away. Like we could put you over there and give you the same amount of land and still compensate you for being here. So it's
She may be
like-
hoping for something like that.
But wait, if they're commandeering her land, I mean, like, is she gonna get paid like monthly, or is it just like, all right, we
No,
just
they
No, they
her
give you
shit.
they give you
Yeah.
whatever they think it's worth, and it's much smaller than the market rate for what the land
And
would
that's
go
because
for.
they move you. So like it's different if they was just like go.
But they're
cut her a
not. They
check.
would do that if they were going to displace her, but they're not displacing her. So I don't know if they will because this is just land. This is not her actual residence that's on the land. So I don't know if they are going to move her, which
so it's
means
just like up in North Dakota, where they have like the oil drills, and it's just like, all right, we're just gonna pay you guys this sum,
right,
and then just keep it moving.
right, yeah, because the government is legally allowed to do that. It's in the Constitution that they have the right to do that. If there's a pressing need or purpose, this is a national emergency, so
And that's what's
constitutionally
so
there would be
funny
that
about-
purpose. Yeah,
About this country and this Constitution is that, hey, we can give you land, like you can get these 40 acres and this little mule that you want, but if we need to build a sidewalk, we need all that back.
How much are they paying these people?
Not a
for their
lot.
land?
It's a small
The last
fraction.
time eminent domain happened was in Dakota where they built that oil drill. They gave
Yeah.
them maybe 200,000.
yeah. Now state governments do it all the time, like on a smaller scale. If they need some, like I said, usually a sidewalk. Usually they're trying to expand a road or something like that.
They do it in Atlanta
But-
all the time.
Oh yeah, everywhere. But in this case, one of the biggest questions that kind of came up for me was, and that formula, by the way, is as outdated as minimum wage. So if you think about like documents that are constitutional, that's why it hasn't gone up. I'm saying that's why I'm saying they don't update these things.
You see his face.
We're not gonna get into minimum
I
wage.
was not even making a face about that. I was reading something that's what happened? What,
I was just saying that's why it's so low.
Commandeered
The
land.
formula came from the Constitution.
Nah,
And
why
things
you
have
think I
definitely
got an opinion
changed.
about that?
But
Not commandeered. She said it's as
Not
old
minimum
as
wage.
minimum wage, and she just said it real fast, and you made a face.
But moving on to 2020. So it
Your
does
man's
present a
Bernie.
question. If we start building this wall and Trump is no longer president in a few years, are we just going to cease construction? I mean, how crazy would that look? As crazy as a wall would look, how crazy would a third of a wall or a
But
fourth
they're
of
gonna
a wall
have to
look?
finish it. I mean, it doesn't
No, they
matter.
gotta
A wrecking ball.
They're gonna have to finish
Would
it.
they have to finish it?
They have to.
Usually when a new president comes in,
Why would
that's
they have
it.
to
Like the
finish it?
brakes stop
Because if you
on
don't finish it, like
everything.
she said, you're gonna look
Do
crazy.
your
And
research
it's
on the
they have
Panama
to finish
I
it.
don't think anybody would look crazy except Trump if it doesn't get finished.
Well,
No,
no,
look-
because at that point he'd be gone.
He'd
but
be gone.
It's,
The
it's
thing
about
is,
optics.
It depends on the new president. I think it really will because
Whether
like
he
when
wants to
Trump came in,
continue.
he was like, I don't care what's going on, it stops. He
But
was
it
like,
wasn't anything like this. It wasn't anything pressed like a wall in the middle of being built that's been fought for a whole 4 years.
but if
and
it's
money
Bernie would want to take that wall.
Which I just want to say, the Burnster is back, baby. Yeah, baby. The
He-
Burnster is back.
My man looked like Al
And
Gore.
the
just
man,
shaking,
I don't
got
care what he looks like.
Parkinson's.
The man was able when he announced his candidacy. The man raised like $5 million in
That's cool.
24 hours. No.
It's
We're
14
not
million
going.
people.
We're not going to downplay this.
But it's
because
Let him,
he was
let him.
able. Yeah, you give me my minute. He was able to raise that money in less than 24 hours of his announcing of his candidacy. Now, I've never been a Bernie Sanders fan. I was okay with Hillary and her kitten heels
No,
and
you
her
wasn't.
pantsuits at that time because I didn't know Bernie. Now, I will say, out of all the people that are running, Bernie has the best chance, and I feel like this was a snapshot of the support he still has and probably can get versus all these other clowns that are trying to run. So I'm with Bernie. The only
So-
question I have is who's going to run on the ticket with him.
It's 14 million people living in New York.
Which point?
He raised $5.5 million.
Has anybody else been able to do that?
5.9.
We talking about in a day. We're
So
not talking about
$6
over the
million.
course.
He
We
killed
talking
it.
about in
So
a
if
day.
everybody in New York gave you 35 cents, he'd be able to raise that
We
money.
talking about in a day. We not talking about 2 weeks.
The
worth
first
of running.
24 hours,
The first
yeah.
20. You're not gonna downplay this. The first 24 hours. You're not gonna downplay this.
You know-
Nobody else has been able to do that and get that momentum in a day. We're talking about a day. We're not talking about over the run of a month or 2
Because
months.
everybody
In a
is
day.
crazy?
new.
That's
You
so
talking about
crazy
brand
to
new
me.
politicians, though.
What's your point?
Brand new politicians versus very established. Look
At
at
thi- but no,
Nancy.
at
Look at
this
Nancy
point-
Pelosi. Look at how much money she's already raised.
At this point, we talking about the demigod and the megaverse. So this is the kind of momentum you gotta have to be able to even consider taking him on.
He's
What are
still-
you saying to me right now?
So-
Because he still has to. The thing is like there's a number that everybody that is running for president has to raise.
That's fine. He
$1
did this in a day.
billion.
He did this in a day.
Wait,
But that's
wait.
also not a difficult thing. Like if
Wait,
you're talking
it-
about the establishment that they or the fan base that he's coming in here with, it's mad people that had them checks. That's all we waiting on.
But that says more to his credit because we talking about a 4-year span. That should have died out.
It does
he didn't get it.
because there's already been so many candidates who have announced. And like Kamala Harris, as of the same time period, she's only raised $1.5 million, and she's announced since January 21st.
And she's
Cory
brand
Booker
new.
has raised
Brand
a
new's a
little
relative
over
term.
$3
We talking
million,
about what we up against.
same amount of time essentially.
And if we're saying that the
Elizabeth
goal now,
Warren's only raised $300,000 in her first
and
24
we're
hours.
talking about trying to weed out, as we keep trying to get into, weed out who's the best candidate. This right here that he was able to do, I'm sorry, hands down, it's got to be Bernie. Who's going to run with him is got to be.
I
the
would
question.
add credibility to that because the Daily Beast, which is it's a conservative publication, they released an article this morning basically saying this is very bad. This is very bad for conservatives. I think it would be bad for the country.
What?
But the idea that Bernie has so much incredible momentum, and because he's a socialist. I can't believe like this is crazy. He's a socialist, but socialism is far more palpable to people now than it was then. At the time, it was very extreme and very unnerving to people that someone was like, free this, free that, free this, free that. And just the impracticality of it all. But now that we have like AOC, like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, now that we have like
Did you
more
give her an
people.
acronym?
No, I didn't do it.
No, the
Now
New York
that now
Times
that that's
gave her
becoming
an
a
acronym.
thing, he's much more palatable to people. And his fundraising, to me, the fact there's like 6 candidates already right now on the Democratic ticket, and they haven't even touched that number, and they've announced for weeks. That's a really I'm shocked
Look,
myself.
I
question
am
is, can he
too.
do it
I am
again?
not a Bernie fan.
He's- I think he's on the way, yeah.
Sanders
That's what I'm
fan.
saying.
Yeah, I
You
think he's
could've
on the
fooled
way.
me.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
do 6
sound like a
million
fan
in
to
a
me.
day.
Oh, I'm a fan now.
This would
I mean, when you
prove.
able
This
to do
would prove out over 2016, that we want another 2016, and to say that the Democratic National Committee is not going to just put Hillary in Bernie's place when the people wanted Bernie. And people were very upset that Hillary was getting all of the attention and everything, and ended up getting all the fundraising. This proves people. People want another. He was very popular, especially among black people, among black people.
Yes, he was popular for the same reason that Obama was popular. And that's the reason why Kamala Harris. We have to understand, and I hate it for like young people that's coming up. Like, these people have no definitive plan for you. Nobody that's running has a definitive plan for you. And that's why Black Woke Twitter and Woke Instagram and Ricardo Group, the Wokes, like, when
that is
you
not a thing, people. That is not a thing.
It's trademark on the show. When you believe that Bernie fitted like come through with like a super plan for you, like, no, he's not. First of all, this man is 80 years old.
First of all, stop giving him the years.
77.
He's 77. If he makes it through the first four,
he
has to
look,
fight.
Trump is old too. Trump is very old.
But I'm saying what he's having to fight against. Look at all that Trump has done in the first four. Supreme Court.
Oh yeah.
Mad bills.
Stacked Supreme
Mad
Court.
laws. And a wall. 2 government shutdowns in the same year.
But that gives like even more credibility to, or that gives even more fire to people who are
trying to
liberal.
fight against that.
Yeah,
but the problem is that if you win, when you get in, what are you gonna do?
Well, that's always the question. It doesn't matter.
He's first gonna spend 2 years undoing everything Trump's done.
And that's what I'm saying.
And then
he
for the last 2 years, he gets to something
undo
else.
everything that Trump did and still try to satisfy that base. Because right now you're just seeing Bernie's base. I don't think that Bernie's base. And I agree with some of the stuff he say, and then other stuff I'm like, bro, you gotta stop.
But I told
because this country isn't built for that. And what it is, and I said this last week, black people just need somebody to believe in. And when Bernie can show up at a concert and get on stage, and black people can stand next to him, that the reason why people and I heard what's the dude name? One of these little politicians in one of these cities said that's the reason why Hillary could connect like that, because she can get out, apologize for what she did, stand next to what she did, and then introduce plans to fix it. But nobody cares about politics. Bernie is coming out like free.
He's appealing to the emotions.
Free.
I think.
Like that.
But it's more than that.
That TurboTax
I
commercial?
told y'all when Bernie got that $15 and initiate that whole move, that was enough right there to get people to take notice. And I feel like that did have a very big hand in it. Because the conversation at the dinner table is, who that Bernie Sanders man is? That's the man that wrote the letter to Amazon them about getting us $15.
Yeah.
What?
But all y'all don't work at Amazon, and it's the first bill that he's in.
He wants it federally.
Now,
he wants
it. You being really simple right now.
He's been in government for 34 years.
What is your point?
You've been in government for 34 years. How is it that
the old adage of what have you done for me lately? You got me $15. I'm riding with you. Call it what you like.
Wants everything.
And Hillary got us billed twice.
No, she what?
She got us billed twice.
Get out of the studio. You fired.
Here's the thing. She
allowed
Hillary
him to have Monica.
Are you serious right now? Are you really serious right now?
Let's not take this in this direction. Let's not take this in that direction.
Please.
You don't think he was motivated?
I'm doing the most.
Listen,
my wife let me have a girlfriend.
Stop it.
My wife let me have a girlfriend.
Stop it.
Next topic.
Stop it.
But I'm just saying. He's been for you to have been in that high of a position in government for 30 plus years. And we just now learning your name?
What is that?
4 years ago.
Everyone has their moment. Everyone has their moment.
Exactly.
How you didn't know about Bernie 8 years ago?
You don't know we didn't know about Maxine Waters 4 years ago.
We know about Maxine during the Obama stance.
No.
During the Obama stance when he was coming out talking
And
crazy.
nobody knew about Obama until he gave that speech at the Democratic National Convention the election year before. Nobody knew who he was.
2 years before he ran.
It's about time.
But he wasn't in government for 30 years.
Well, the man is old, so that means he has a good track record. What are you saying different right now.
You have to be realistic. I don't like this either. I don't like Bernie Sanders running either. And I feel like I understand the place that your protest is coming from because I think this is the worst time in American history, period. We have a socialist running against an authoritarian. This is the end of capitalism. It's the end of freedom and liberty and opportunity and meritocracy and all the things that we love. But the point is,
Bernie wants everything to be free.
That's the end of liberty. That's what I'm saying.
Garbage.
Right, so
That's the end of it.
I want you to tell me why you don't like Bernie, and I want you to tell me why you like Bernie.
Okay, well, that's not a fair question because I'm not necessarily saying I like Bernie.
Then
What
why
I'm
you doing
saying
all this
is-
fighting?
Because I'm saying is
cheerleading for him
no,
right now.
because we are back to the lesser of two evils.
We're back to 2016.
Pretty
We're
much.
hitting
We're
a
back to
reset button on
2016.
let's do this
so
again.
the question becomes to me, do I want another 4 years of Trump? Or do I want to put somebody at least viable up against him that actually may have a shot of winning? Doesn't necessarily mean I like
I
Bernie.
will
Okay,
agree.
not that you like him, but why are you for him and why are you against him?
Let me
Well,
start.
'cause
I will
it's
agree that
two
Bernie
against
has the
one.
best
Again.
chance of beating Trump out of
Me and
all the
Simone actually on the
Democratic.
same page.
Out of all the Democratic nominees, Bernie has the best chance easily. There's no momentum around any of these other nominees. I was hoping it would be an outsider. It just none of them have come to the table. So Bernie has the best chance against Trump. Period. That said, this is terrible in general because for all the reasons I just listed out, Bernie is a socialist. He wants to crush the possibility of wealth generation. He wants to crush entrepreneurship for the sake of equality. He wants to force equality rather than allowing people to use the merits that they have and to create things for themselves. I hate this idea. I think this is a terrible, terrible idea. And now I'm sitting back thinking, you know what? It's actually not been the worst 2 years for African Americans. Black unemployment is low. Okay? Tax reform is beneficial. Pretty much everybody can file the standard deduction now.
That may be
Pretty much
true,
everybody can
but
file the standard
Now
now.
people are starting to see this whole tax reform things. I'm reading a lot of these articles now. People are actually owing more money than they're actually
I've not
getting.
seen. I need to see
I
that.
got plenty of articles
This
on
may
it.
be the best year for me filing tax. Y'all file y'all taxes
See,
and
that-
finish
but
up and
that's
see.
that light skin privilege thing.
No,
You
that's
said-
an
This is what we
entrepreneur.
talking about. That light
We're
skin
talking
privilege
about
thing.
entrepreneurs in business. When see, I can be very specific. I don't have a problem with Bernie. My thing is when you say it's a lesser of two evils, no, you're literally battling somebody that doesn't know anything about politics and then somebody that stood in politics for 30 years and did nothing.
That's true. That is true.
That's what 2016 was.
That's
it was a
fine.
battle between two people
and
that
we're
literally
going back. We have no creativity.
two people that has been in government
None.
for
All
30
the
plus
people.
years.
The Rock, Mark Cuban.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh my God, we
Howard
got
But
Schultz.
look, they said
all
it
these
didn't make
people who
sense.
could have
They
They
ran.
said it didn't make
Kanye
sense.
West.
They said it
Okay,
didn't make sense.
all right, fine. I will absolutely agree with you. And again, I'm not saying I love Bernie. I'm saying this. Good leadership says, I have these issues, but I have the power to put somebody in my stead that will pick up all the weaknesses I have. Bernie has a lot of things that I don't particularly agree with, but that's why I said it boils down to who is his running mate, because that running mate will be the little Zazu that sits on his shoulder and says, okay, look, bro, this is not going to work,
Zazu.
or look, we need to think about this another way. I'm okay with that. As long as there's a balance. That's why my focus now is Bernie is clearly the front runner. I don't care what nobody say. Anybody that can raise that kind of money in a
It's
day,
clear- he clearly
you
is.
clearly
It's just man.
you've done it. Bam, you've done it.
Mark,
the
please
question
run.
is, who is going to be his running mate? That's going to be his little Zazu that sits on his shoulder and says, "Well, we shouldn't do
Well,
this."
who's going to
or
be
we can't do
Trump's?
this."
We don't know that yet
We
either.
don't- There is not going to be.
Trump may not have a running mate. Do you have to have a
Exactly.
running mate?
He's
What's the
not gonna
law
have
about
one.
that? Do you have to have a running mate?
This is
I
what
think
I'm
Because I
saying.
bet you he
got
won't.
you.
This
Well,
is
he
what
would
I'm
need
saying.
one.
What's
I mean, he's in office.
This
But I'm
is-
saying if he...
No, he's got to, because there has to be a succession plan. The VP is a succession plan. If he dies,
But
or
he's
whatever,
got one.
Y'all
it
don't.
goes-
His name is Pence.
Yeah, that's
I'm
what
not
what I was
saying.
saying.
I forget about him
Saying
so
that
often.
They have to have a
And,
running
and
mate.
that's what I be saying. Like what we have to understand, especially about government. Like you're not. A lot of these people are new to government. Trump is the only new person in Alexandria because she just got here last week. Those are the only two new people. We're talking about people that have.
It
been
may be
doing
her.
this
Lord, do you think it
for
would be
a
her?
long
Do you think
said
it would
that.
be her and
I've
Bruce?
said that.
Do you think?
No, I think it'd be Kamala before anybody else.
Okay.
Actually,
I think it'd be
actually,
Kamala before anybody else.
I don't know. It could be.
I think that
Kamala would make me feel better because I think
Kamala
deep down...
galvanizes black women in a way.
Does she? Do you like her? We don't like her.
I don't
In general, do we?
Wait,
I haven't heard.
wait.
When we
say
say
black
we,
women?
when we say we, are we talking about light
Black
skin?
women. Black women. He said
Okay,
women.
I'm about to
This
say,
is
we
for
talking about
women.
light skin
How much
or-
do you know about her?
I don't know a lot about it.
So-
besides the press.
But you know about Michelle Obama because she galvanized black women. I don't think Kamala Harris galvanized
I don't think
black
so
women.
either. I think that's a very strong
But
statement.
but I think that for a black woman who's a prosecutor who is very established, who has money,
Which is working
and has
against her.
those
But that's why I think
conversations.
her and Bernie, I would support that because I do think deep down she's just a cold-blooded
And she's a
pro-state, pro-police
businesswoman.
I don't know.
person.
I think Bernie.
And I think she would offset him.
I think that when you look at
And
Bernie,
she has a strong personality. Like if Maxine was to
She has
stand
a-
next to him, that would be an
Aunt-
automatic
Aunt
win for
Auntie
the
Maxine
Democrats.
can't do no wrong. So whatever she chooses to do, we about
But
that
they
like,
can't beat Trump.
Yeah, but she want to shove
They can't
diversity.
beat Trump.
They
Because
can't.
Maxine would take her shoes off and try to fight Trump.
Maxine,
They can't
yeah.
win.
or throw it at the stage while he's giving a speech.
And he would
Yeah.
dodge him.
Auntie
No,
I'd
I
love
don't
to
think
see
he
that.
that fast.
Auntie
I
Maxine
don't
ain't gonna
think he
play.
that fast. I think
But
he'll
I
win.
think that if we talk about running mates, this is just my thought process, just throwing it out there. I don't think he would dismiss Elizabeth Warren. I think that could work.
She's a nice person.
I hear you.
Cory
but
Booker,
Booker.
I don't think he would throw that out either. I think Cory
I
Booker
think
could
he's
be
strong
one.
as
I think
himself.
Sanders
don't
and
think he's a
Booker would
good
be
choice,
good. I do.
But Kamala, she probably would actually be at the top of my list. I don't think that what you said is accurate. I think that black folks do have a problem with her and they want more evidence. They want a better picture painted as to what she did and how she prosecuted in her past to be, to say, okay, if we put her there, is she going to try to get all of us?
Because here's what you can say about certain people. We don't like flip-flops.
Yeah.
We really don't. So it's one thing that Bernie has been there for forever. It's a whole other thing to say that somebody's been inconsistent. Bernie has been the same Bernie
Yep,
today
the whole
as he
time.
was
Yep.
20 years ago and 40 years ago. He has not changed or wavered. He's very predictable in that way. Kamala Harris just a few years ago, 10 years ago, as a prosecutor, did not seem like the same person running right now at all. And that's very that's uncomforting to
Yeah,
people.
I think she has always. and I
Because
think
Trump is like
because we
this.
don't
We're looking
know
for some
anybody.
stability, I think, as a people.
Yeah.
As an
I-
American
I
people, we're
believe
looking for
she's been there.
stability.
Especially after this.
As a
Yeah.
prosecutor, if you listen to the way she talks,
After these 4 years,
I've
We need
met-
some
I've
stability.
we
met-
need somebody to stabilize, honey, because it's. I just, like I said, at this point,
Who here is not on anti-anxiety medication?
What?
or contemplating it.
Or contemplating?
I'm just saying. I think with Kamala,
Kamala.
whatever. I think that the only reason why specific to black people, because you don't really hear that argument about her from anybody else.
True.
But very specific to black people, because she was a prosecutor, she was very honest about what she did. But she's also from a place where if you live on this side of America, none of that matter. You was a prosecutor.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
locked my partner up
Yeah.
as a prosecutor.
Yep.
True.
She'll get the same thing that Hillary got. Well, you wanted black people in jail.
Sure did. And didn't that cost
It's
her dear?
worse because she's black. But it's different because when you look at her record as a prosecutor, it wasn't just black people. It was a lot of black people. But it's like that when you're surrounded by black people. Like that's the difference. And she's been honest about it.
Yeah, but she's been honest in her circles. She gonna have to be honest
She's
in her
been
rhetoric
honest
with people,
Don
because people
Lemon
still have.
put that.
Yeah, he did.
He put that them questions on.
But the question is, like, where do
Yeah,
you
but-
do less harm? Because even Bernie, when Bernie was a candidate, like long before he became who he is now, people said the same thing. They said he had a huge platform about like equality, but he wasn't talking a lot about race. And this was the height of BLM. And that's when like the two black women in Seattle hopped up on stage and took the mic for him and started talking about it because they felt like he's just leaving this out. And even he kind of did like a self-check, like, all right, I'm a white Jewish man
What
from
else you
Vermont,
got me
and
to say?
no, he was like, I'm ignorant. He's like, I'm a white Jewish man from Vermont. I'm not trying to pretend that I know things I don't know. I'm going to do better. And he admitted it. I feel like you're almost better off if you've never touched something than if you've done it and you've done it wrong.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
Because this
So-
first impression is the last impression. So if you come on stage, you're
So even
ignorant
though
about
he's
something.
never helped black people, but he's never locked us up either.
Actually, here's another scenario though. What if he takes Julian? No, not Julian, because that's the Hispanic guy, the gay guy. What if he makes the gay guy his
running mate.
running mate?
I doubt it.
LGBT, he got more power than a little bit.
He don't have enough. He don't have. He
Say that
alone
again,
doesn't have
Ricardo.
enough
I'm just
sense.
saying, LGBT has a lot more power than he used to in the 70s and 80s. It's a force to be reckoned with now.
But
So
I'm
I
saying
mean, doing it.
him as a candidate right now, he doesn't even have steam for himself.
I mean, he got steam. It's a matter of how
No,
much
he's just gay.
he want to
Like,
combine.
we're not
Oh, he's
saying
about to
that.
him, that guy. Well, yeah. I mean, but I'm just saying, Bernie has options. He actually is. When you put Bernie as a forward, he actually has good options if
Yeah.
he picks the right person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
one
and
option.
again, it may not matter because we didn't elect Pence, or people elected Trump. They didn't elect Pence. So
True.
that was just like, okay, you
But
have to have
nobody
somebody.
Yeah, but
So it may be.
Trump was able to carry himself.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We may just
Bernie.
people may just be electing Bernie, especially now. It may just be him. It may not
But
matter
it's
who's
going to
with.
turn into this. It's race. It's all racial. It's all racial. That's the thing that Trump was able to stand on. He never had to say it was racial, but he stood on it.
Racial in what way?
Like he exposed
Make America great
the
again.
fallacies in this country. Like he exposed them all. I don't think that there will be another candidate or another president that can combat that, because he's what and I don't really like Trump, but what he did is make a lot of people honest. He put a lot of people on the spotlight. Like, I feel like this. Tell me how you feel. Show me how you feel. Because 8 years ago, people could just tell you, like, you know what, I'm not racist. I just think, no, he's putting people on the spot, in the spotlight. Like, you the Speaker of the House, and you feel the same way I feel. Tell everybody that you feel the same way I feel.
I'm sorry,
Get
Paul
the Speaker
Ryan.
out of here. Get him out of here.
I mean, I will agree. I think that the good thing that has come out of Trump's administration is he has put a mirror up to the United States and said everything that we've been doing, is it really necessary?
Mirror. He put like a magnifying glass with the sun shining in the background, like on the ants.
My eyes hurt.
Like, that's what he's doing. But what he's also doing is making it very, very difficult for somebody to follow him up.
Yeah, but in
On
a good or a
either
bad way.
side. On either side. Like, I want to know how y'all feel about that. Because y'all got to vote
You
now.
gotta know. You lead now.
Y'all got to vote now. Like, how do you?
Yeah.
Who are y'all looking at? Because I'm seeing this.
How much do I have to pay you to vote the right way?
Honestly, hold up. We're gonna take a break right quick, and then we're gonna get back into that. So you listen to the Leadership Blend on the IBNX Radio. I'm Kyle Andrew.
Yeah, since we were talking about race, that's a good segue to his hate article that he found.
All right. Hey. What I want.
I'm in the right direction. I'm into ride this ocean. Traveling in slow motion. Paddling with no question. Early morning with the sun. Not yet burning, innocent. I try to be a good son. Myself 100%. Oh. I feel it inside. I wanna reach that. It's somewhere inside. I wish I reached that. Skyline, skyline. I wanna reach that skyline. Skyline. I wish I reached that skyline. Skyline, I'm gonna reach that skyline. Skyline. Endless troubles to go through. They're strolling in the city. Daily struggle to be true. Betrayed authenticity. Poison well around, but still I will take another round or another route until we take off from the ground. I feel it inside. I wanna reach that. It's somewhere inside. I wish I reached that. Reach that skyline. Skyline. I wanna reach that skyline. Skyline. I wish I reached that skyline. Skyline. I wanna reach that skyline. Skyline.
All right, I'm Kyle Andrew, and you're listening to the Leadership Blend on IBNX. I'm with my correspondents.
Shahid.
Jazz.
Simone Cherie.
Double R.
The boss, R.D. Rice.
His name is Ricardo.
The boss, R.D. Rice.
All right, so
Leader of the Wokes.
I want to get in.
Leader of
Ricardo
the
Stop being
likes
business.
Ricardo likes education. I think you were in education for a little while, weren't you?
I pursued a doctorate in educational leadership and realized real quick after my first class, when they were using all these acronyms that they use in schools, I had no clue what they meant. I switched.
All right. So over the past year, there have been some teacher strikes across the country that have initiated and sustained a protest movement challenging school districts to and elected officials to allocate funds for increased salaries, benefits, and resources to meet needs of students. There have been some successes in a variety of states. Teachers in Denver last week entered a 3-day walkout. This was their first strike in 25 years. Their union and the city public school system reached a deal to add $23 million to fund a 7 to 11% increase in salaries for the next year. Oklahoma's largest teachers union ended a walkout last April that closed public schools statewide for 9 days after negotiating a $479 million in funding for the next school year. So now there's a movement in California, Oakland, California, and it's getting bigger than school funding and teachers' wages and their benefits, and the demanding of smaller class sizes. Teachers can't afford to live. Teachers in Oakland, California, are facing gentrification in the shadows of the Silicon Valley. So there's this one guy. His name is Will Corvin. He's 23. He moved to Oakland, and he and 4 other teachers moved into a 3-bedroom apartment, knowing that they would have to share a single bathroom, and that got their furniture off the streets. So. And in Oakland, I have to add, Zillow estimates that 1-bedroom apartments in Oakland go for $2,680 in rent per month.
It's California.
So, and the last part of that, teachers are demanding a 12% increase over the next 3 years. However, the school district they're not negating it; they just can't afford it. The school district has offered a 5% raise over the next 3 years.
I just want to.
You mean my thoughts on this?
This is between you three. So lay it out. What are they asking for? Why are they asking for it? And are they entitled to it?
You mean teachers in California?
Teachers in general, because these strikes are all over the place. It's California, West Virginia, Denver. It's all over the place.
So what are the both sides? Can I hear like both sides of the stories in a sense, where it's like, all right,
Okay.
what do the teachers want?
So long story short, the teachers are demanding 12% pay, an increase in their pay over the next 3 years. And the school district is not negating it, but they can only offer, because they don't have that much funds, they can only offer 5% over the next 3 years. So should they take it, or should they leave it, or should they continue the strikes?
Wait, they want how much exactly? Like they wanted like
12% increase.
but they can only get 5?
They're only offering 5.
Kyle, you got to frame this differently. So what sparked all this? Why are they now striking? What sparked all this?
The gentrification, they can't afford to live in Oakland. Like they can't afford the standard living.
Don't limit it to Oakland, because like I said, these strikes have been going on in different
Yeah.
states. So don't limit it to just Oakland.
Yeah.
This is a spark. Like this has started pretty much a revolution, because now it's going from state to state. So you got to outline what are the issues. Because they all have a common theme. What is the issue?
Teachers want more money.
Why?
I mean, they deserve more. I just.
That's a very vague statement. You
But-
can't just say that.
But so the cost of living is going up everywhere.
Wait, does that mean minimum
They
wage is
deserve
gonna
more,
go?
but they're saying they can only give 5%. So where are we going to get this other money from? That's my question. I honestly think they should get 12%, but if they can only offer you 5%, where are we going to get this other money from?
Okay, so y'all got to take certain things into account. Like I said, this is going from state to state. So this is sparked because we have conversations about all these other different venues. Like we were talking about fast food workers getting 15. We're talking about healthcare workers getting more money. Nobody talks about teachers. So here we are with teachers. So the question becomes: are they entitled to a raise? Do they deserve one? And where do they get the money from? But then on the argument with that is you find money for everything else. So why can't you find money for us?
All right, now it's time for me to put my opinions in set. In my honest opinions, yeah.
Don't you give me your opinion.
Okay. Facts. All right, let me just put it out like this. Yes, the teachers should get paid more, obviously. 'Cause
Why?
Truth be told, you bring your kids over to grade school, and that's the first thing they go to, other than like And truth be told, they morally spend most of their time in school than they do with their own parents and everybody else.
That's a legitimate argument.
And if anything, like, it's almost like daycare. So it's just like, come on, you got to educate the kids and stuff like that. Like, what else are the kids going to get? This is your future. This is what you put it down for. So, of course, the people that are in there actually having to be with your kids, even though you can't because you're either working or whatever business you are, you might as well pay these people a little bit more, or at least on both sides find a compromise that could suffice each way. Because, I mean, like, if you're working over here and you feel like, yo, you're not getting paid your worth and stuff like that, obviously you're going to complain. Obviously you're going to feel like, what's your worth? And you would want your worth to be at par with what you're getting, if anything. So it's like...
Now, I got a question for you, moderator, because there's an argument to that. What is the argument to that? Because we've had that argument here. It was a different field, but we've had that same argument here. This is where these two clowns usually go on the opposite side of me.
I forgive you.
It's okay. It's okay. You're a Bernie fan.
I am not a Bernie fan.
And that's
Yes, you
exactly
are.
what it
You're
looks like.
not a Bernie fan. Whatever.
Yes, you are.
Here's the argument. The argument is there's an assumption of the risk. It's the same argument they make about fast food workers. That when you salt the fries, you know you're not getting $15 an hour. That's the same argument people make with teachers. You know that you're really getting into teaching because you love kids and you love teaching. You're not going into it for the money. That's the argument. You assume the risk when you went into this field, unless you get a master's or a doctorate, that you're not going to make decent money in this field. You're doing it because you love kids or because you love the profession.
But
That's
I would,
the other side.
but
of
I
the
would
argument.
never lump in a teacher
But a
with
lot of teachers,
salt
I
fryer.
read
Yeah,
in the
but
I'm
article.
not even. I'm just saying, but that's the argument that you guys.
I can make
would
multiple
say.
arguments.
In the article, there was this lady. She's been teaching for 27 years, and compared to the cost of living now versus 27 years ago, the cost of living may have been a little bit more affordable 27 years ago.
Right.
So when she went into the field or that career of teaching, she might have had a love for kids and also a good income coming in.
So there's your argument. Your
Yeah.
argument is, or the question from that, the question becomes, are teachers receiving raises like any other field? Is there an evaluation process? If there is an evaluation process, what is the outcome from it? That's the next question. See how these lead into everything else? This is how you have a conversation. Carry on.
What was the question you just proposed again?
No, I didn't propose that. I was saying that's how it unravels. Because like I said, the question becomes, from your example, now you got to find the facts. Okay, she's been in this profession for 27 years. Did she receive raises annually in those 27 years? If she did, what was the increase? Well, are we talking about a penny? Are we talking about 2 cents? What does it look like from the time she started teaching to where she is now? If you haven't seen a significant change in her income, that's a real problem. Because in any other field, you'd be sitting in somebody's courtroom over that.
Well,
But they argue salary versus cost of living. So you would compare the two. If your salary raise does not match, so say if your salary go up $1,000, but your rent go up $1,000, it doesn't equate. But you won't spend $40,000 a year on rent unless you live in Oakland.
true. Now, I have a way we may be able to get some more insight out of this conversation. So teachers, unlike other industries, these are public sector workers for the most part. So these are people who are paid out of the taxpayer's dime, which has limits. I mean, you can only tax people so much and ensure that teachers can live so well. And another situation this applies to, I do believe, is a lot of military careers. There are a lot of different stipends and different benefits that are afforded to you if you elect to public service, but there are also limits to that. And there are certain living conditions to that. So in my mind, if people are working in the public sector, I would think, okay, well, maybe public housing makes sense for people who are working in the public sector because, quite frankly, it's not going to advance but so much. Like, if this is where the standard is for where the taxpayer money comes from, then there's only so many teachers we can have if they're going to live decently. So maybe we should just create their living conditions, like we create their benefits and like we create their retirement plans and all this other type of stuff, because we can control that. But we can't control it if we let you live wherever you want. It's almost like how a school can determine how much to charge you for on campus, but if you're off campus, it's like you're on your own, you're SOL. We can't control how much you're going to pay out there. It could be anything.
But I think
You know what I mean?
the counter argument would be you also can't control how many people want to be teachers.
But you can, because you can control how many jobs there are available.
Well, jobs
They
being
can want to
available
be.
versus people going to school for education.
Yeah, but that's unemployment versus people who are employed and feel underpaid. So that's a different problem. It wouldn't alleviate that problem, but that's a different problem. But for the teachers who are here, if we could just say, okay, well, this is teacher housing. So if you're a teacher, you can live in teacher housing. That would be a potential
But
solution
to
to that
me,
problem.
teacher-
I don't know how good that housing is. So I was going to say, since Jazz has a lot of military background and military experience, maybe you can shed light on whether or not those sorts of conditions are even decent.
I just got sworn in. I haven't even like went on through the full
I'm
process.
about to say, where you get that from?
She said it's her whole family, so I thought maybe she'd have an
But
opinion
we've never
on.
stayed in like base housing or anything. We've always
I
lived
see.
off the military. So
I see.
And see, my dad was a Marine for like
But-
a long time, but he came here for citizenship, so that's different.
but
So they offer you those things.
I can say though, like for military housing, like if you're not married or anything, you basically stay in a dorm. It's nothing like
Yeah, the
luxurious or
barracks.
anything
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
not like
Sure.
house.
And I'm
You have to
not
have a
saying
family,
it
though, like
should
to stay in
be.
a house.
Yeah, it's like camp.
It's like you stay in a dorm.
Really?
And there's people really out
Yes.
here getting married just so they can get more money to like go stay in the military housing. So if that answers your
Yeah,
question.
yeah.
Shahid,
Oh wait, my big thing was like, say for-
microphone.
Oh, yeah. My thing about the whole situation is in terms of the whole like financial thing. It's like, say for example, all right, if you get paid about, let's say like $4,000. I mean, not $4,000, like $40,000 by the end of the month. I mean, the year and stuff like that. Like combine everything together. Where does the personal finance between like how you go about your thing come into play with all this? Where it's like, say for example, I feel like to a certain extent, I'm not saying like, all right, with the salaries that teachers make, you could obviously make that work. But I'm just saying like until like you just get that next bump into check, or until I don't know, you decide to do something different with your money to the point where you start making money. I mean, you start making more and whatnot. But what I'm trying to get across is pretty much like, yeah, why don't people like, say for example, everybody's out here talking about the protest and whatnot, talking about we need more money and stuff like that. But it's like, how do you manage your money in that sense? Like, are you the type of people to like just do the whole like, oh, I live on end, like paycheck to paycheck to paycheck and stuff like that? Like, and if you do have more and stuff like that, like off your thing and stuff like that, are you really putting it towards the necessary needs and stuff like that? Or are you just blowing it off like everybody else does and stuff like that?
Okay,
That's
but how does that affect the masses?
Oh no, I'm just talking about like for the teacher wise, if anything,
Because that's what most teachers argue.
What?
They argue living paycheck to paycheck. And that's only because they get paid twice a month.
No, it's not. That still boils down how much money they get paid in those twice a
Well-
month. Many people live like that.
Well,
Most of us only get paid twice a month. You get paid
and that's
bi-weekly.
what I'm saying. If in the state of Georgia,
I heard the teachers get paid once a month.
certain
I think-
districts,
yeah,
in
certain
certain counties, they get paid once a month. So you question how much they make. So on average, most teachers make around $34,000. It could be $40,000, but it's an average $34,000 to $35,000. That's coming straight out of college. So you come and you graduate from making $23,000 because you flipping them burgers, talking about you need a raise, to going from 23 to
I thought
35,000.
Slick Shade, you started throwing that.
So you go $35,000, right? If you live in Atlanta and you're single, depending on the side of town that you want to live on would depend on how much money you'd actually spend in rent. So say you want to live in a nice neighborhood that isn't too expensive. Well, I'm going to move to Camp Creek. Where's your school? If your school isn't that far, you could travel 20 minutes to teach. Camp Creek, your rent might be $1,000 for a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom. Or for a 2-bedroom, 1-bathroom, you pay $1,000. That's $12,000 a year that you spending just in rent. Well, what kind of car you drive? Well, if your car note $400 a month, then you do 400 times 12. That's how much money you spend on your car note. Car insurance, food, living expenses. So if you make $35,000 a year and you live in the city of Atlanta, how much disposable income do you have at the end of the year? That is a more, when you say it like that, your argument changed. Because now I got to look at those actual numbers. But when you just say, like, I'm not making enough money to live, but you live in Oakland, and we all know in California, what you get paid, usually you get paid that because your cost of living is very high. So like Buckhead, Brookhaven, Peachtree Corners, Norcross, what they get paid versus what people get paid to work at the same place on the south side is not the same. At Burger King, they get paid $11 out here. Burger King on the south side, they probably get paid like $8.50.
Who get paid $11?
Hey, look, man, don't ask all them questions.
Wait a
Just
minute.
know.
Wait a minute.
Just
Hold
know.
on.
You making 11?
Hey, that's
No,
what
I think I think you're just making that up so you can set me up.
No,
later.
they,
First of
no,
all, minimum wage. I
no,
don't
no.
trust you.
At Burger King, Chick-fil-A, like most Chick-fil-A's pay way better than everybody else.
Oh yeah, Chick-fil-A.
But everybody can't get hired at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, they
So-
And rightfully so.
So I know the Burger King out here. I know a girl that work at this Burger King. She get paid $11.
How long she been there?
Is she a manager?
Is she a manager?
She been there
Hold
2
on,
years.
we're getting kind of
She a manager.
semantical.
No,
We're
I'm
getting
just saying,
semantical.
I think he's
but
trying to
look,
set the
no,
stage
I'm
for
just
the
saying
argument
she been there for a while. She been there 2 years.
Then, yeah. So
But she didn't get hired at like $7. But she also live in like an affordable place. So what you make versus how much you spend, you have to take
yeah, but
those
do we
things
get
into
to
account.
dictate where somebody lives?
We don't. we also don't get to dictate how much they get paid, but you have to understand what you get paid when you come into a field where you know everybody don't get paid well.
Okay, so then the next question will become, if they get a master's, what does the pay difference look like?
Then I got to ask university professors, how much more do you want to get paid? And that's the question that
That's
teachers...
not the same thing.
That is the question that teachers at this level... You think that university professors at Georgia State and people that teach at Collier Heights Middle School not going to argue about how much they get paid?
But that's not what you're getting a master's for. You can stay in that realm and get a master's.
I
and get
don't
paid
know
more.
anybody as a teacher that went to school to say, yo, I'm going to just graduate with this one degree so I can make $40,000. No, my teacher in high school had 7 other certifications and degrees. He was the highest paid teacher at Southside. He got paid more than the principal. He was getting that kind of money. Mad awards, all on TV. Dude named Mr. Anelone, the best math teacher in the world, was getting all the money, all of it.
Well, yeah, I mean,
But when you got that many degrees, you can ask for what you want. Well, if it's that serious, get the degree. Go teach at a university if you're gonna complain about how much you're gonna get paid. But if you have a love for the classroom, you have a love for the classroom. I can't tell you where you want to live. I can't tell you what car to drive, and I can't tell you what to spend on your bills. But your base salary is $40,000.
But this is why teaching should not be a full-time thing. This exactly proves that point.
What?
It proves that point entirely.
There.
What do you mean by
Because
that full-time thing?
there is no commanding a certain amount of money for this sort of profession. But there are some benefits that I would love to have that you don't necessarily have when you work for yourself or when you work in the private sector, like retirement, pension. Who the heck pension? Paid off school loans, free dental care, free health care.
Wait, is that for every teacher?
Yes. Yes. So your rent is high.
Discounts on renters insurance.
Well, a lot of
discounts on
other
car
things are very,
insurance.
very expensive, especially healthcare. Very, very expensive. Ergo, I would take something like that if I only had to be there like for one class. There are plenty of people who are probably experts in math or experts in science or whatever who would be like, you know what, it would be good to have some insurance for like a year. I'll go ahead and I'll teach for a year. You know what I mean? And just fill that gap. Fill that gap. Quit acting like
I
people
don't
need to
think-
live and die in a classroom from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. when they only have one specialty, which could be biology. Teach biology. Go on about your day. Go to a lab and work at a lab half the time. Go somewhere else, like be a geologist half the time. I know
They do
it's
more
maybe
work
that's
off
the
the clock.
problem.
They do more
Maybe
work
that's
off
the
clock than they do
problem.
in the classroom.
Maybe that's the problem. We
Why?
don't need teachers to live and die in a
They gotta do lesson
classroom.
plans and all that other stuff. My sister does it. It take her lesson plans alone. It's like another 2 hours, even after the kids are gone.
So let's talk about that. What does
What-
she teach?
yeah,
And what
what
grade does
grade?
she teach?
I think why y'all put me on there? This my
I'm just asking. I'm asking.
Not that vested in her.
So I do it like this.
I'm sorry, Janae.
Look, I do it like
So
this.
sorry.
So my mom taught 8th grade. My mom told me that when she was a teacher in the 80s, her salary was $30,000. That's because my mom graduated with a degree with 2 certifications. My mom was command that pay. Now, if you look at what pay was for teachers in 1980, it wasn't $30,000. Like, it wasn't $30,000. And she was asking for $30,000 and got $30,000. My mom also literally only taught in a school for 2 years and went directly to the university. Why? Because at a university, you can literally ask for what you want.
Right.
How many degrees
Oh,
do
yeah,
you
that's a
have?
whole different ball game.
What
And that
certification
process
do
is
you
long
have?
too.
So are you
Oh wow, boo-hoo.
are you suggesting that the teachers who are on strike should leave and go and get better education?
that what
and-
you're
No, I'm saying
Work
that
at university.
teachers
You can
that are
suggest that.
teachers,
But you're saying-
teachers,
Stick by that.
teachers
Don't
that
back down
are
just because
suggesting.
they don't want you.
No, I'm saying teachers that
Don't
are
let Simone get
suggesting
you get shot on the show.
get paid.
Say it again.
Teachers that are suggesting that they get paid more. Argue why? Because just saying that, well, where I live, it costs too much. Where you live? Well, I live in Buckhead. Why you move to Buckhead on a teacher salary?
What? That is not a
I
legitimate
don't
argument.
understand
It's the
Wait,
same
wait,
argument
wait,
that you
wait,
make
Jazz,
for
wait,
people
wait,
that
wait.
make minimum wage. Why are you living outside your
Wait,
means
that's a
and then
whole
you
different
blame
ballgame.
everybody
Wait,
else
respect
for what
for
you get
Intern
paid?
Thank you. That's what I
You're
was trying to-
saying that they should go and teach at like a college level, but there's different levels in professors. Professors don't make that much either.
Especially if you're
Tenure-
Some don't.
When you have 10 years, that's when you're making your money.
But
Especially
going,
when you're adjunct.
but middle school teachers and private university teachers don't
Private
make the same
universities
amount.
don't make nothing unless
No,
they have PhDs.
Emory. I was gonna say Emory
I go
teachers
to
get
Tuskegee.
pizzazz.
They
Yeah,
make
but
nothing.
said they gotta
I
have a
graduated.
certain-
I gra-
The
we
African American
went to
Studies
AIU.
Department at Emory lives in Buckhead.
Look, we went to AIU.
They are paid.
For
Kind
what
of
they
side
was,
hustle they got.
what they
They're
was
paid.
charging us at AIU, and what we knew them teachers was getting paid at AIU. What I was getting paid to just be there 2 days a week, I know them folks was getting a check. AIU is a private university.
Yeah.
Like
Listen.
still
they
think
not
those
they
play
they
with
not
your level.
killing. They not Emory. But what they was getting paid versus what you ask a middle school, my homegirl was a teacher for 2 years. Her checks was $794 every 2 weeks at a middle school. At a middle school.
Look at Kyle's.
This is what I'm
Look
saying.
at Kyle's rich,
This is what I'm
distressed
saying.
face
Yeah,
right
but
now.
you can't. You're lumping them together. They're not this. Just because it's all education does not mean it's the same thing.
Everybody doesn't
Some
wanna
people do
teach.
not want to teach at college. They
So
actually
if you-
enjoy. My sister enjoyed teaching.
Why did you set yourself up that
if
way?
You only I can think of.
But
My
if
sister
you-
enjoys I think it's third grade. I think Janae teaches third grade. She enjoys teaching third grade, and she's actually getting an EDS, education specialist degree. So I mean, I think
So she can
actually
ask for what she
some
wants.
Nice, that's a strong statement.
It,
But
That's what the public
But
sector
you-
is,
but you
y'all.
go
It's
into
garbage.
public
The public
sector-
sector is garbage.
the public sector, there is.
Don't make me do it full time.
There is
I'll come twice a week.
a graph, right? There's a graph. They say,
We don't want
okay,
my class.
this is the least you can make, which is minimum wage, and then the most you can make, which is this. This is your ceiling. That's it.
Yeah.
Like you can't go above that. It's a lot up there. And it look real good, and there's a whole bunch of space up there, but this is your ceiling in the public sector. When they tell you this, the most money you can make in the public sector, because they do tell you.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
it's not
Oh, yeah.
like it's
Oh,
not
yeah.
like teachers is getting hired not knowing how much they're gonna make.
Oh, yeah.
Teachers take jobs knowing exactly what they're
that
gonna
is
make.
not a
and they
legitimate
lo-
argument.
It is a
But
legitimate
We
argument.
can sit down and talk about giving people at McDonald's $15 an hour and healthcare workers $15 an hour. Why can we not have a legitimate conversation about why the people who affect the future of America every day in these classrooms can't get a raise?
Because when
the
you do
people
the
who
math on what they
pay-
actually making, you realize that they make $15 an hour right now.
I don't know about
Teachers?
that one.
The private
I don't know about
sector,
that. That's a
fast
strong
food
statement.
can't be compared. It's a different sector. It's private sector versus public sector. Taxpayers aren't paying for fast food. No, they're not. Not until they end up.
No, but also most fast food places are franchises, so you still have to take in consideration the entrepreneur that's paying their employees, which is usually the counter argument to giving $15 an hour is that they're franchise and a franchise cannot
Yeah,
afford.
but you can't beat the taxpayer down to pay teachers more. You can't do that because
We're
it's
not
coming
saying
from the
that.
taxpayer.
We're not saying that, but actually, if we look at the situation with Trump,
What you say?
This reminds me of The Simpsons, like an episode of The Simpsons when the teachers were really about to do strike, and then Bart decided to what you would call it, just cut the snips, and then the teachers went on strike, and then Seymour and then the teacher were pretty much like, oh, okay, why don't you fund for your kids and stuff like that, invest for your kids, and then the principal was like, yeah, we really want to, but it's gonna come out of your pretty much what you're saying, like the taxpayers' money. So they're like,
Yeah, we've seen this play out.
He's heard of The Simpsons, but he didn't know who Johnny Cochran
no,
was.
I just did that.
I didn't expect you to know that. But
Always coming for
no, but here's what I will say. I work for a lot of nonprofits and political organizations. Those are my only clients. Both have caps all the time. They're always struggling. So you know what? I can't work for just one. I gotta have multiple. I gotta have at least 4 clients. Period.
We have talked about this. You
For
are
the
not
same
status
reason.
quo
They are
man.
all struggling. They're all strapped. Ergo, I need to have more than one. So if
But
you don't make
if-
a teacher do nothing but teach, if I can teach and this and that and that, then we don't have to have
Well,
conversations
so
about my
let me-
poverty.
So look,
That's what life is.
Let
It's
me
not-
ask you.
it's-
Let me
that's
ask you
what
because
life
you're
is.
young. Let me ask you.
It is.
Let me ask you because you're young. How much disposable income a month do you think you should have right now?
Should, yeah.
That's a loaded question.
No,
Is it?
no. How much do you think you should have? Should have. We're not asking about your personal business. We're talking about your.
How much you
should
think
have.
disposable income, which means that money that you can have to the side, you can have it to invest
Whatever you want.
or take a trip or take a vacation or spend or whatever. How much disposable income right now do you think you should have?
I think we should frame that differently.
No,
$1,000.
I want to know. A specific.
What you
question.
say?
I said
month?
1,000.
$1,000 a month?
A month?
After-
I'm gonna say
to do
100,
whatever
'cause I
with.
put like 50
After
in my
every check,
account
after
each
I
time.
paid all my bills and taken care of,
Yeah,
gone
this
to the
is
grocery
fun
store,
money.
I
How much
have
fun money do you
$1,000
need?
Or we
to
talking
have
about in the
for my
future.
leisure time.
So are you talking about $1,000
In the
a year
future,
or
how much
$1,000
fun
a
money
month?
do you need?
A month.
A month?
Yeah.
That's
Now
a lofty goal. Where you
that
going?
so
That's
1,000.
not.
How much
It's
you
not.
say?
I'm gonna go with him 1,000
1,000?
wait, how much throwaway money I need?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even
for a
know.
rainy day type. Yeah.
All
No,
right.
fun. This is fun money.
So
I mean,
Disposable income is the money you spend on stuff
whatever
wanna
you can spend it on.
let me just have all my riches in the safe. I don't care.
All right, so consensus $1,000. Now we had this discussion on here when we was killing him and Pedro about minimum
First of all,
wage.
y'all not
That
killing-
at the
stop doing
end
those
of the
slick
year,
comments.
on average, people usually have about $730 a year in disposable income. That's on average. That's a year. So you say you want $1,000 a month? You sound like teachers.
People.
You sound
Well,
like teachers.
Well, where's
How
wait,
much money
we have
do
a sound
you-
effect for like a ambulance?
You know what? All I'm saying is, it's not even necessarily about them being strapped. It's the same thing we're seeing now with Trump reappropriating money to get his wall built. Who's to say that the superintendent office can't do the same thing? Where is the actual money going? That becomes another question. So if we can't pay the teachers, that's fine. But show me why you can't pay us. So where are we appropriating the money that we are getting?
That's what I would be doing if I was on a teacher strike. I would be saying, okay, well, reappropriate the money from the botanical gardens and bring it to the teacher's
Oh, the
salary.
PTA,
I would
that's
say
not
take it
even-
from the
or you could just do this. You could sit these people in the room who actually pay you and tell them, you want your children to be taught. Pay me to teach them.
But here-
Teachers won't do that. Teachers will not sit parents down and say, pay me to teach your children. No, they'll go and strike, and then they'll talk to the superintendent's office.
Because
and,
that's the person that dictates the fund. Why would you talk
But
to
I
this
want to no, but
parent?
I
because these are the people that have to agree to those taxes.
They do. Yes,
they have
the
to agree to
community,
those taxes.
The county. I want to see the numbers laid out side by
not
side
individuals.
because they did this before. Slate did this before. They compared the private sector, which everybody believed got paid so much, and it justified people who worked in government. So not teachers, but people who worked in government, how their salaries are quote unquote lower, and they laid it out, and it was like they ended up making more because of all the benefits. The benefits that they had were valued way higher than what you could get the private sector, where people are just out of college and they end up getting like disaster health care plans, which means like if I'm dying, I can see somebody, or like all the benefits that they laid out, student loans that they couldn't get forgiven because they were in the private sector, they were expected to be able to pay them back, versus teachers being able to or anyone who's in the government being able to just get them forgiven. That's $100,000 value potentially. So the numbers, if you lay out the numbers side by side long term, I do think public sector is way better off right now because it's a tough economy, and that's all you have to do.
All right.
And you're off all summer long. Goodbye.
All right, so
Goodbye.
we're going to pick up this conversation when we get back. We're going to take a break. This is the Leadership Blend. I'm called Andrew.
That's what we call poverty by choice.
On air, as you can see, it's got really heated during the commercial break. So before we left, we were talking about teachers and this teacher strikes that's going on nationwide and how much teachers should get paid and the benefits that they have and how long that they work and things like that. So it sounds like Double R and Simone think that teachers should not get paid any more than they already do.
Hey, don't say it like that. Don't say it like that.
Not true.
Don't
Actually, no,
don't formulate my words.
No, because on the break we segued to something else, and I actually want to stay there. So, is the American dream, because that's where this all stems from, that I'm supposed to work 15 side hustles to maintain a standard of life? If that's what y'all saying to me right now?
No, Double R and I are saying that the American dream is an ideal. It is something that you work for, that you may achieve over time, not something that you should be handed right after college like some sort of Sweet 16 car. It is something you have to work towards.
And that's fine, but what I'm saying
So you don't have
is,
it right now, you don't have it right now.
And what I'm saying
You gotta
to you
keep
is,
going.
people should. I don't think it's. I don't want to say fair because I know you're gonna eat me up if I say fair. I don't think it's a
Just say fair.
standard.
Just
No, I
say
don't want to say
fair.
fair. No,
Say
because
fair,
I know
'cause you
y'all.
like
I
stuff
set
fair.
myself up.
You like
I
both.
don't think the standard should be now that I have to have 15 hustles to maintain a quality of life. I'm almost 40 years old. I don't want to work 3 and 4 jobs.
And
And,
the di-
actually, when I was in my 20s, I didn't work 2 and 3 jobs because I want to find one job that can pay me for what I do well.
So
But-
how much are you willing to work to make sure that
Let's not make this personal.
Isn't it?
No.
So isn't it? In this
so-
particular regard,
so look.
isn't it? Because y'all want to go into, well, what are teachers
I'm not talking
spending
about you
and
or
where they
I.
living and what they driving. That is not the point.
So
The
look,
point is,
I'll tell you like this. As somebody that also works in the private sector, and I work for a company, working in the private sector as an independent contractor and as a musician, if I can get the benefits that teacher got, just in medical,
I don't
alone.
think no, I don't think you can't use that.
Why not?
Because when you talk pursuing music, that's a whole different type of industry thing.
That's even more
You
to the
can get-
point.
But if I had
Because
the
that's your
money,
dream.
But you're
It's
rolling,
a
But you're
dream.
rolling the dice on that because if you were to get the right deal, you already making.
It's a
6
dream.
figures.
you're right, but I ain't got it yet.
But
So
you knew
even-
that going
even-
into that one, though.
so
and that
even-
Just
particular
like
one.
teachers knew
No, I
that.
was saying, no.
So
in
even-
that particular field.
So I'll just say, as an independent contractor,
In what? What we talking about?
I'm an independent contractor.
We ain't talking about music. I'm trying to be.
I ain't
slick and
talking
use
about
titles.
music, no, because that's different. That's different. Like I make decent amount of money from music, but as a contractor and working for a company, I can tell you right now, I can't put my mom on my insurance.
Right.
That's working for a corporation. I can't put my mom on my insurance. So you know what I got to do? I got to wait until my mom gets a discount for her medical benefits. My mom ain't worked in 16 years.
Jesus.
I pay all my mom's bills for the last 16 years. So
Goals.
you know how much I spend in medical a year? I wish I was a teacher.
Ooh.
I wish I was a
Lie.
teacher.
Wait,
The-
how much is the
The
discount
older you get, the
significant?
more expensive it gets.
30%. My mom had cancer. So that if you have a pre-existing condition with insurance, and no, we ain't covering what? Covering.
I wish I
Coverage.
could do that.
Teachers, you got a pre-existing condition and you're a teacher? Oh, we got you.
Your mom's a retirement. She retired from teaching.
No.
Man, she's not. We can't use her as an example. Then.
My,
Yes,
my
we
mom
can.
was a teacher in 1980.
Jeez, your mom was teaching when I was born in 1979.
My mom was born
I
in
say that?
49.
What were you asking?
That's what I'm saying. My mom was born in 49. My mom was born the same year as Muhammad Ali.
I'm just saying, I don't want us to set the precedent to say that in order to get the American dream, because I keep using that because we are talking about America, and that's what he's about making America great again. I don't want us to set a standard that says that you have to work 6 and 7 jobs to maintain a quality life, because we're all going to get older. Nobody going to work in 6 and 7 jobs.
But the question
We're gonna
is,
get older.
No,
what
so you're
is your
confusing
quality
the
of
acquisition
life?
of the dream with having the dream.
But wait, if I
'Cause
could ask
this-
a question though, what is the dream to you guys as the older predecessor? No offense, like, cause you guys are older.
It's because you say an older predecessor. Like,
No, I mean, like, no,
I'm
cause
gonna let that ride.
Cause no
Let that
offense,
ride.
cause no offense. Me, like, I always like to talk about people when it comes to things like this. And truth be told, especially like with my parents being foreign, I could sort of have a relation to the American dream because my parents would always tell me stuff about this. But as I learned growing up and seeing how reality is, or just like how it is right now, it's like I feel like it's different or it's generational. Where it's like you guys have like a certain perspective of the American dream, while we as a generation we have our own, or we have a certain lifestyle that we want to live to. But it's like on completely different terms.
but you're right. You're right. So that's why I said that when you apply that argument to people that go into a field where your salary is set for you already, you cannot have that argument.
I actually kind of agree with Double R and Simone because if you went to school to be a teacher,
You do realize who writes your check.
Thank you.
Or who will?
I don't
You
get
go
a
to
check.
school to
Who
be
will?
a teacher.
You on the winning
Who
team,
will?
bro. You on the winning team.
Listen. You went to school to be a teacher. You knew. I mean, teachers have never been paid greatly, so you knew what you were going into before you went into it.
No. Press pause, because I'm sick of this. So, I'm sick of this. So, press pause. And since I ain't getting no help from the peanut gallery over there, fine.
Because she on the outside, too.
No, that little term y'all just used about you know what it is when you sign up for it. Well, if that's the case, we still be slaves because we knew what it was. And we
But
knew
that's
that
why
segregation
you work
was
to
legal.
But we ain't
change it.
sign up
Work
for
to
it.
I was gonna say,
It's
really,
a
we did
difference.
not. That
We
is a
didn't sign
terrible
up for
example. Nobody migrated here. I didn't migrate
I'm
here.
just saying, but as we came up the
My
generation
ancestor's
behind,
name was not John.
As we came up behind our predecessors, that's what they grew into. That my parents were slaves. This is what it is. So I was just supposed to accept that.
But
It's the
that-
same ideology.
That's
But-
not
but
where
the-
abolition
That's the same
came from.
ideology.
No,
No.
that's not
No,
where
it isn't.
abolition came from. It came from I'm going to change this.
No,
Not I'm
saying-
going to whine
No,
about it.
I'm not talking
I'm
about
going
that.
to
No,
change this.
I'm not talking about the aspect. I'm talking about the aspect of y'all saying this is what it is. You should just accept it.
That's the
Well, if
American
the
dream.
case-
That's not what I'm saying.
Well,
No,
that's
but-
what
I'm
he-
saying
that's
this
what he's
is
saying.
what it is. Ergo, you can change it,
So there's the
or
American
you can
dream.
accept it.
Which they
you have an
decided to change it by
option.
going on strike.
That's
No, there's the
But
American
y'all telling
dream.
them they ain't entitled to.
No, there's
Well-
the American dream and the Black American
Which
dream.
is the same thing that was said to us.
you call the
but we
cable
decided
company
to
and
try
tell
to
them
get-
that you're on strike. They will cut your stuff off. They don't care that you're on
You
strike.
can, you know that you can only do this in the public sector.
What?
Right. I could not. I wish I could.
You can only
on
do this in the
strike?
public
Yeah,
sector.
but
That's
there are so many
privilege.
other things y'all
Public
can
sector
do in the private
privilege.
sector.
Like
Let's not go
what?
there.
You
Like
can't do
what?
this in private. You can't do this
No,
in
I'm
the
saying, but
private
there are
sector.
other things that they get away with in the private sector. Let's not do that. That's like
No,
talking about
they
charter
do not.
schools
You know what-
versus public schools.
Are you? This is a terrible
You know
example.
what we can do
no,
in the
hold on,
private
hold on,
sector?
hold
We
on.
just gotta find a client to replace that.
Hold on, because this is terrible. Teachers get away with so much with
What does
regard
that
to where
mean?
they cannot be fired. The teacher who had the 6th grader arrested for not standing for the pledge wasn't even fired.
Snapshot.
She wasn't even fired. No,
Snapshot.
teachers, if you have tenure, especially as a university professor, even if you're a teacher, you're protected under such a bubble. It is so hard to get fired as a teacher. It is so hard.
You know
No,
that.
wait.
Private sector,
There
you can
isn't
get
a
fired for
private
being
sector
15 minutes
union.
late.
Isn't that devoid of them being in unions? Most teachers are in unions, which makes it
Oh,
hard to
so
fire
are
them.
private sectors in unions the way teachers are? No, because they're not in the
Private- why
public
are we comparing
sector.
Private and public sector.
Because you're
They're
comparing.
different.
That's exactly the point. Because
What?
teachers are in the public sector. That's my whole. The
teachers
crux
that
of
are
my
on
whole
strike
argument.
Are not teachers from the private sector.
They're teachers
That's
under
my
the
point.
public union
That's
sector.
my point. You're in a union.
What's the point?
Can somebody?
So
what
you
is-
have protection. The private sector workers, what I'm saying, they have no argument because they have so much protection. They have so much benefits, so much privilege, so much cushion.
And
That's my argument.
Basically, in the private sector, you don't have arbitration.
Heck no.
You have to represent yourself or
You're
go.
making more probably. More.
No. And
We
you're
gon- we
working
gonna table
under
this and I'm
more
gonna do some
risk.
research.
That's
We
why I
table
said.
this.
That's why I
Actually,
said.
do
if-
it.
You come back on next Friday. You come back. We want to look at some statistics about public versus private teachers and the pay.
And I'm gonna bring
you.
back
And we gonna
all
table
the
that.
statistics on just teacher benefits. Because if you're just talking about the benefits
Yeah, that's fine.
of
but
being a
that's
teacher,
no different than when we had the discussion about Amazon. That was your argument then. Oh, well, Amazon is giving them stocks and bonds. Well, people want their money now. They want to be able to live where they want to live.
See
so
where that
let's
gets you.
avoid that.
See where that gets you in 20 years.
But,
That was a
but
mistake.
that's what I'm
I'm
saying.
just
But that's a
saying.
better argument
But
to
the-
have than public sector. Public sector is too cushy for me. We're not going to ever. You can never prove to me you're
You
not
never
better
gonna-
off
you
in terms
never
of
gonna
what's
beat that
easy.
That's
argument.
fine. Then we'll switch to have the discussion that we were having about Amazon when y'all were saying that, oh, well, they get stocks and bond options. Okay, well, maybe they don't want all that because they never take advantage of it anyway. So if that's the case, alleviate that.
Oh,
So,
okay,
so because the
alleviate
people
that.
are useless,
I got
let's
it.
just quit trying.
No, I'm
Okay.
I
saying.
got you. I got you. You remember I just asked them how much disposable income you would want? If a company is trying to introduce you to a plan
That's
to
cute.
give you
That's
long-term
That's cute.
disposable income,
That's fine.
and you turn it down,
That's fine. If I can get
This
if
is
people
why,
want
Lord.
instant
This is why.
gratification, then you get rid of the benefits you paying for.
this
and you put it on
America.
their check.
This
So
is
tell
why.
teachers that.
This is why
If that's-
Bernie
if that's what they want
Sanders
to do.
is going to be.
What you mean want to
president.
do? If you want to make more money, if you I think it's going to turn into this. If teachers want to make more money, they're going to have to be forced to give up some benefits. You're going to have to.
You better.
You're going to have
You
to.
better.
On average, regular people spend about $5,000 to $6,000 a year on medical.
Yeah.
Just on medical.
Yes,
We
I
ain't talking
agree.
about vision and dental. Don't need no braces. Don't
Just-
let
just-
your
just-
child need no braces. But if you're a teacher and your child need braces, them braces is free.
It's $500 a month to go to the doctor and have them weigh me and send me home. $500 a month. as a healthy person. That's all they do.
That's what I'm
They stick
saying.
a thing
Look,
under your tongue. They send you on your way.
So I want teachers.
Absolutely.
I want teachers to give back that $5,000, $6,000 a year. You don't got no medical now. Now you get that extra $6,000. Now you make $46,000.
So
And you get dental.
So they
So
should
we're
give
gonna
up-
eliminate that $2,500, and now you make
And eliminate the student
$49,000.
loan
So they should give
forgiveness.
up their benefits for more money.
I think that if you want to compromise your money, you have to give up something.
True.
You have to give up because your money is coming from the same. If you're a teacher and you have children, more than likely you don't teach your child because they usually don't allow that. They won't allow a teacher to teach their children
In public school.
in public school, but in private school that's different.
Yeah.
Because in private school,
Everything is different
the
in private
parents
school.
directly pay your salary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Directly.
And no pensions.
Yeah.
And if you retire, like you just out of there. Ain't no union in private private school.
You know,
but
we
in
probably
public
can't even
school,
retire.
in public school is different. So if you are a parent and you're a teacher, you pay taxes to make sure other teachers get paid to teach your child. Would you want to come out your pocket to pay them extra? No. You would tell them the same thing that I'm telling them is to get back some of that. You want some extra money, then get back some of them.
Move to
benefits.
Camp Creek.
Give back
I'm
50%
done with this.
of your
Okay.
medical.
All right.
50%
So,
of your
I will end with that. I don't have a problem with that. Maybe that's a discussion they need to have. Okay, well, we can give you more money after you've proven you can't allocate money from someplace else. After that, then we can have that discussion. But for now,
They've been having
they
that
need to have an
discussion for
auditor,
years.
and they need to sit down with each district and go over their books and see where is there money that can be moved.
They've been
I don't know
having
what y'all punish us for.
Wait,
Wait,
wait, wait.
Hey, you can't do that. You on outside.
Wait,
You
no.
on outside.
I'm
Now,
trying to
actually,
move on.
he don't get to
Don't switch
take
sides.
a
I'm trying
side.
to
Don't switch
move on.
sides.
No, he don't get to take a
We
side.
got
I ain't
13
gonna lie,
minutes left.
Ricard-
We got-
dang, I saw how you were getting tackled by these two right there. I was just like, man, I feel sorry for you, Ricardo.
You fired. And you
All
didn't even try to. Who says that?
All right.
You can tell your boss that?
We should give
Jazz on
Kyle
our
a
side,
lot
too.
of props.
We
We should
claim
give
it.
Kyle a lot of props
So
because
it's just you and
coming
Pedro now.
from coming from where he comes from, it's very easy to be biased.
He's from another.
Oh, dang, they don't know Pedro.
Well, y'all don't really know Pedro. We've seen him once.
Oh,
or
I know
twice.
enough.
We
I know
enough.
enough.
We know enough. We know that you
All
and Pedro took that.
So we can pick up this
Whatever.
topic next week because, because it's not
'Cause it's
over.
almost
Yeah, I
over
can
there.
definitely tell it's not over. It's tension over across from me.
Yeah, he upset. He upset.
So
I'm not gonna pay y'all
What
no
else we
attention.
got?
Jazz has a news article that she wants to share with us.
Yeah.
Yes, so Southside Medical Center is receiving backlash after they found multiple patients' documents out in the streets and shipping crates. Those documents have their social security numbers, medication that they take, and other important information. And the hospital is basically saying that they don't know what happened, but they also said they've had a lot of encounters with several episodes of vandalism for sealed and locked containers, which may be where this occurred, but they're also saying that they didn't have any missing reports. So now it seems like there's been some type of inside job, and it's just a little suspicious. How can you say that we have multiple occasions of vandalism, but you don't know what happened to these documents that are outside on the street?
This is a hospital.
It's outside.
Yep, that won't go to the south side. Go to the hospital.
What?
Nope.
What county is it in?
Fulton.
Yep, they got AIDS. So I'm good. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's what the news said.
The
The
opinions.
thoughts and ideologies that are dispensed by each one of these codes or correspond is not directly correlated to the thoughts and process of the leadership.
Or the other
All
panelists.
of that, but Channel 2, 46, and Channel 5, and Channel 11 all said that the highest rates for AIDS and HIV is in Fulton County. Now, I don't know where all Fulton County is, but I know I ain't, nope.
Yeah, we're Cobb, aren't we? For the
Yeah,
most
we're
part.
called.
Yeah, we Cobb and Norcross out here.
I
This
thought this was
Norcross.
This is Gwinnett, yeah.
Yeah, here, but I don't live here. Let me make that distinction. I don't live
Listen,
here.
Yeah.
I think this is a great
I'm a Cobb
time
snob.
And what is Lawrenceville?
for a safe sex message.
Gwinnett.
Gwinnett? Oh, good. I'm good then.
Yeah,
I'm good.
This is a good
That's
time for
where
a
I
safe
live
sex
at,
message.
you know.
I'm moving
Well,
next
the-
week.
the Cavs
right
got-
now.
Did
right-
you live in
The
Gwinnett
Cavs got
at one point?
corruption problems, but I
No.
think it's safe
You
over
sure?
that.
Yeah. Yeah, I ain't never lived in Gwinnett. I lived in Atlanta. I was in Shambles.
I used to.
I used to stay in Chamblee too.
I've only known Cobb. But
Me
going back
too.
to
I'm a
to
Cobb
your,
snob. Sorry.
I don't like that name.
Hey, worse than me. I'm a Cobb
No,
snob.
he's
But-
very normal and down
Yeah,
to
I know,
earth.
right? He's not rich.
Yeah, and he's with minimum wage and all that.
See, there you go again. Every time I turn around, you got to throw it in the minimum wage
What
thing.
you saying? What you?
So I mean, have the patients responded to this at all with their
Um,
information and their social security numbers being leaked?
They're upset. They haven't said much more. They actually try to reach out to more patients who they came across, and they were like, they don't want to talk about it. It's just we're upset. Why are our documents out here? So they're still investigating. It just started today.
Here's a better question.
Yeah, Jussie Smollett
Does it
all over
really matter now? Because if anybody really wants your information, they're going to get it.
Yeah.
It
Does it
matters.
really
it
matter?
matters, and this sounds like a good paycheck for these patients.
I
At
was
least
just
a
saying
small
that.
class
And they
action
were
Yeah.
half
lawsuit.
burned at that, and that's not how you're supposed to get rid of documents.
No,
Oh,
no,
so
Not
you
supposed
didn't
to
say
have
that.
burned.
You didn't
No.
say that.
Oh, I didn't. I'm sorry.
no,
I need
no,
you
no.
present all. Stop giving me snapshots. I need all the facts. So they had Burma. So that means
They
they
were
try to burn
half
them.
burned. Yes.
You know what? Sorry, it's a
Well,
whole.
normally they hire people to come, like with ours,
whole
we
nother
have
industry.
information with that, and there's a company that comes, takes that, and they take care of it.
Yeah, but
So
that's
that
that's
it's-
public sector, so they get their money from taxes.
And honestly, hospitals have a lot of protection in Georgia. It's very hard for hospital administrators to be accused of any sort of criminal act. I think they actually have a level of immunity similar to police officers. And they're very suspicious with those records. You ask for your hospital records, they have 60 days to get them back to you. They may miss the email of your request. You don't know what they actually had on those. The whole industry is just fishy.
You know
It's
who
just
get their
fishy.
medical records though? Teachers.
You ain't gonna stop.
Here we go.
King,
You ain't gonna
what's
stop
up?
till I kick you
Not
out.
surprised.
You ain't stop till I
Not
kick you out.
surprised.
Anybody got entertainment news? Double R, what's going on in music? I want some fun.
I
Another
mean,
8 minutes. So it's,
2 Chainz' new album comes out on the 1st.
isn't Offset put out an album too?
Yeah.
Offset comes out. It came out today, I think.
Follow.
Yes.
What
Yeah,
about
it
the
came
So
out
Far
today.
Gone re-release and Eminem's re-release?
Yeah, first album. Yeah, it's
Re-release.
the 20-year anniversary.
Oh, you mean Infinite?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh,
No,
when-
Infinite was 96. That 20-year was
oh,
2016.
so real Slim Shady LP then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So in movie news, apparently, I'm still trying to decide how I feel about this.
It's a couple of movies.
The Trolls have decided to start trying to tank Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
You
Um,
mean the key?
no, that's
No.
not a kiddie movie. It's in the Marvel
The
universe.
superhero.
Yeah.
I thought he was talking about things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, they've been on Rotten Tomatoes trying to drag
trying
it
to
through the
really-
dirt.
I'm not excited about that movie.
I'm not either. But at the same token, I guess the argument
Hold on,
is
but why?
what?
Why?
Why
Why
don't I
aren't
excited
you
about it?
excited?
I don't know her.
You don't know
do.
the actress?
I don't know Captain Marvel. First of all, I don't like that her name is named after the company Marvel.
No,
I don't know.
That's the name of the character.
Well,
I don't-
his
I don't
name
like
is
it.
his original name is
Now
Marvel.
there goes the argument though. When was it? I'm like him. I only know her because the cartoon introduced her and the whole
In
the
the
layout
universe,
that they're doing now.
How she got her powers?
Well, I know about that too, but
even-
I've never known her to be a man. So I'm like, is that the comic book version?
No, so the original Captain Marvel is a man. His name is Marvel.
Captain
And
Marvel.
he's in the MCU.
He's in the MCU. So originally, she got her powers from him. So it's very similar. Her story is very similar to Shazam. How he got his powers. There was somebody before him that had those powers, and they were bestowed upon her, and she took his place. In this MCU story, it's introduced like she was already something. She was already a part of that actual universe, but before being on Earth, and she grew up here, and then discovered her powers. In the comic books, that's not exactly how it happened.
So to go see this movie, do you have to have comic book knowledge?
No.
prior to-
No,
I-
because her
We
story,
should've had a
her
quick
story. So
warning.
there are certain
Before we
stories
go
that
this way.
overlap that you don't see unless you're
Oh, no,
like
I'm
an
getting ready to bring it to
avid.
you in a few minutes.
If you're an avid Marvel
I'm getting ready to
watcher,
bring
so
it to you.
There's not enough time.
I'm just
Marvel,
saying.
well, Captain Marvel, Wolverine, and
X-Men.
Tony Stark's father and Captain America. All of these people knew each other because these are some of the oldest characters in the MCU. They all fought in World War II. They all were connected during that time. So a lot of their stories is connected. I don't think you'll get like her full story in the movie, not yet.
You don't
But
need
you'll see you'll see
Snippets.
certain parts of
Flashbacks,
her
probably.
stories that crosses lines of the MCU. So like with Captain America, like certain things about her story and his story that kind of cross lines. The same thing that you saw in Black Panther with T'Challa's father and Tony Stark's father and Captain America. Like all these stories are interconnected, and a lot of these people actually do know each other. But a lot of these movies are created based for like real fans. But they're created for people that don't necessarily know the story to be able to go back and look at a movie and say, oh, now I get it.
Yeah.
So her story starts from the past to the present and brings her current. So you'll see her being introduced with the current MCU story, which is the Avengers story, and you'll see how she'll be introduced to it and how Shield was created and how that story and her story and Tony Stark's like it's dope.
This must be why the runtime is 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Well, if you look at all their movies are usually long.
Yeah, they use about 2 hours. But I can deal with that because versus DC, when I go to a Marvel movie, I can sit through 2 hours because it flies by and it makes sense. When I go to a DC movie, I'm itching, I'm spinning in the seat.
The only DC movie that did decent numbers was Aquaman.
Well,
Aquaman and Wonder Woman, but Aquaman mostly because it was Jason Momoa, and everybody
Because
saw
the movie was
him
not
as
that good.
Aquaman for a long time.
the
It
movie
was a
not that
decent
good.
movie.
It wasn't that good.
But the reason that I didn't like the Aquaman movie is because of how he was introduced in Justice League. And that's why I was glad that Captain Marvel wasn't introduced in the last Marvel movie. She was supposed to be. And I can't just give it away like that, but you'll see like
well, she's a saving grace. That's what they did at the end of it. Nick Fury sent the
text
message and it showed her ambiance, the thing that she wears. So clearly she's a saving grace, which in the cartoon she was. She was the one that came.
She's one of the strongest MCU characters.
Yes.
She's not the strongest, but as a
the
woman,
issue is, they say that she's
it's
a feminist.
feminist.
That Kree, the actual individual playing the character, is a feminist. So that's part of the issue too.
So it's a lot of white men that's just going crazy.
Yeah,
in
they're
them
the
comments.
trolls.
But it was the same thing with Black Panther. Like in Black
Really?
Panther, they said they didn't like that that they kept saying black women in power. So like the head of his military was a black woman, and his sergeant was a black woman, and his sister was over medical and all the tech that like you. That's why I said Trump he's literally giving people the magnifying glass like you. Say how you feel now, because that's what we're doing now. Everybody get to say how they feel, and I personally like it. I'd rather know where you stand than not, because if I found out how you felt,
I'm still gonna go see the movie because I have to keep all of them in order.
Oh, I'm definitely going.
I'm gonna be there.
But we have 3 minutes
overjoyed.
left, so let's do final thoughts, starting with Shahid.
Oh, good. Wait, final thoughts on what?
Just the synopsis of the show, your final thoughts, what you
Life.
want to leave our listeners with.
Get the mic.
Life one was funny, though.
Get the mic.
All right. Pretty much my final thoughts on the show. It's the same old, pretty much, man. Just grow.
Now the show, the discussions. Today.
Oh, discussions. Oh.
If you don't have any, it's okay.
This is
pretty much,
America.
Back to the whole teacher salary thing. I kind of agree with Double R. If
Yeah.
you're gonna complain
Yeah.
about your wages, you're gonna have to be willing to give something up, and that's just
I don't
what
need y'all
anything I
support.
personally
I can
feel
stand
like.
alone. I don't need y'all
So
support.
yeah.
Quick piece of advice, everybody head over to entrepreneur.com. There is an article that just came out this morning, yesterday, so about 3 a.m., posted about how you can turn your day job into a side hustle. We all need several different sources of income. Some are passive, some are active. Check that out. It may be good for you. We're moving into a new economy. It's 2019. It's MAGA, and you need more than one job.
Basically.
That would never be my American dream.
So, I love the discussion today to black folks and the woke squad, Ricardo squad. Look, do your research.
I don't know. Look, you can
Understand
stop somebody
that
gonna
there's
coin that.
Understand that there is a difference between the American dream and the black American dream, and everybody does not believe in your dream. So you got to believe in yourself and get it done.
Believe in your own dreams.
You know what I'm talking about?
Ricardo?
I was trying to find something really quickly.
Man,
Not even about that.
Just concede to this L. That's it.
I don't care. I don't care about y'all. I don't need y'all validation. All right. So a really quick follow up, because y'all know how I am about social media and these causes. We have a cause, but then when a new one comes up, we forget about it. So remember the Kentucky student debacle with the young white guy taunting the native guy?
Mm-hmm.
Well, apparently, the Covington Catholic High School, I guess where he go, and the Diocese of Covington decided they were blameless. So they exonerated them. They said that they were pretty much in the right in theory, or they didn't see any harm with it. So that was kind of a follow up to that, and I just thought that was very interesting that they came to that conclusion that they didn't do anything wrong. In closing, I don't know. I'm just staying on you three. I want y'all to get more engaged with these conversations. Do your research and be ready when you get in the studio, because you never know when it's your day to sit in this chair.
Yeah, help
So
us beat up
always
on
be ready
Ricardo
and
some
shut
more.
up.
No, it's not the day nor the hour.
Exactly, because Kyle didn't know he was going to be in a chair today, but here
Had
he
no
is.
idea.
And I'm going to start being harder on y'all because y'all have the potential to do it, or you wouldn't be sitting on
Dressed
this
like a
panel.
90s music video. I like it.
Simone is
yes,
you know,
yes.
Simone goes slick shade all day.
That's
so,
not
all
shade.
day.
That's the
That's
best
just-
decade. It's been downhill ever since.
But I will say, Kyle, another good job. Like I said, I think you're getting where I'm going with this of what it's got to look like.
Yeah.
And good job.
All right, I appreciate that. Thank you all for listening. My final thoughts is with the teachers and the strikes and all of that and Jussie, there's a way to do it and there's a way not to do it. So yeah, thank y'all for listening.
I'm gonna say now you can give
Justice
your
for
opinion.
Jussie.
Now you can give your opinion.
Yeah, thank y'all for listening. This is the Leadership Blend on IBNX Radio. I'm Kyle Andrew.
See you.